actually meet you, like in person. I want to actually meet you like in person. Just put it in the conversation. I want to hear from you. Where are you joining us from this morning? So this morning, I will just be introducing the concept of growth mindset to you. Just give me a few time to share my screen. Okay. Once you see my screen, just let me know that you can actually see it. Please, can you see my screen from there? Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can
Yes,
see
we
us.
can.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you. So growth exponential is something I'm so passionate about, and you're going to see the reason why I'm so passionate about it. I'm so much passionate about it because over the years I have seen how people with so much potentials and they have not been able to maximize such potential. And as a matter of fact, we have seen first class graduate even in the street in such a way that they lose that potential. And the question is, how do we ensure that people with so much talent, so much value, are able to grow, multiply their impact, and also multiply their values in the community in which they serve, and probably in organization they actually find themselves. And this is the reason, this is what we want to do today. We want to put an end to a situation that appears that one is stuck, not just talk, want to put an end to where one becomes all productive despite so much talent. So I have seen so many people in their life, they usually look for somebody that could help them move from where they are to where they really want to be. And the truth of the matter is that we have been in that situation before. Probably you're currently in one today, you just find yourself that, no, come on, I could be more, or I could actually get more. We find ourselves in this situation, and this is the major problem we want to solve today. And without wasting much of our time, let's quickly go into this. If you are seeing my screen, that's great. Sorry. Okay, good. Okay, good. I said most people are failing because not because they lack passion, not because they lack talent, they are failing because they lack a system of growth that compounds, over time. Growth is the great separator between those who succeed and those who don't. When I see the person beginning to separate themselves from the pack, it's almost always because they are intentionally growing. So if you are not intentional about growth, it might be very difficult to actually grow. So it is not something you just allow to happen by itself. It is something you need to make happen. It is something you need to make happen. So let's look at this. I said success in life requires exponential growth. That is, moving from comfort zone to the growth zone. We have all heard about telling you, we all have been telling people, do not stay in your comfort zone. But if you are not in your comfort zone, which zone should you be? And here it is. There is a comfort zone, there is a fear zone, there is a learning zone, and there is a growth zone. As you can see, all of them. The truth of the matter is that the comfort zone feels safe. It appears that you are in control of everything. What of the fear zone? Most of the time, you give excuses for what you should take responsibility for. You are even afraid of trying. You're just comfortable where you are. What of the learning zone? Because that place is already getting better. You just wake up one day and you just tell yourself, I'm going to give everything it takes for me to succeed. I am moving from here to that place. And that's where the learning zone begins. You begin to deal with challenges and problems. You begin to acquire new skills. And the final stage of that zone is the growth zone. And that is the major reason for this program. How do we move from the comfort zone to the growth zone? But before I continue today, I want to go into the comment section. I want to see which zone are you currently? Are you in the comfort zone, in the fear zone, in the learning zone, or in the growth zone? I want to let's quickly put it in the comment section. I want to see that. Which zone are you currently? I want to see that in the comment section. I'm going there right now. Which zone are you currently? Which zone are you currently? I'm waiting. Which zone are you? Okay, let me see. Just give me a few moments. We are going to try our best to make this our togetherness here today to be very, very interactive. Okay, I could see a lot of people. They are in the learning zone. Oh, somebody's in the fear zone. Don't worry, we are moving today together. Somebody is in the growth zone. Somebody, okay, a lot of people, they are in the learning zone, but our goal is to go to the growth zone together. And we are going to be moving together, right? We are going to be moving together. So what the question now is, what can you do? What can I do to ensure that we move from the comfort zone to the growth zone? And sincerely speaking, that is the major reason we are here today. But before we go into that, there is something I want to ask you. Have you heard about growth exponential before? What is growth exponential to you? Can you quickly put it in the comment section? Let me look at that. What is growth exponential to you? I know that we have been sending a lot of communication outside there, and it could look like you actually understand it. I want to actually know what is growth exponential, to you. I want to see that. What is growth exponential to you? Is somebody assisting me there? Before I share my screen, what is growth exponential to you? Okay, I'm going to the comment section now so that I can see that somebody is saying, okay, nobody is typing. People are typing. So somebody is saying growing at speed. Additionally, is saying growing at speed. Yeah, speed. I love the word speed. Any other person? What is growth exponential to you right now? So without wasting much of our time, let's quickly move into the growth, exponential. Let's look at how it looks and what you can learn from there. Don't forget, the goal is for us to move from the comfort zone to the growth zone. So I said, to reach your potential, you must grow. And to grow, you must be highly intentional about it. That is coming from Joseph Maxwell. So growth exponential is built on one timeless truth. Look at the truth. Sustainable growth is intentional, one, structured, two, and purpose-driven. If you need to write something down, I need you to write that down. Growth exponential is built on one timeless truth. What is that truth? Sustainable growth is intentional, structured, and purpose-driven. So my goal today is to help you understand how to build structure around your growth. Here is a success indicator around growth. Number one is about who you become. Who you become. This one is talking about the personal growth and mastery, which has to do with self-discovery. Because we need to set this background before we actually move into the growth exponential. Do you have what refers to as self-discovery? Who am I in the next 5 or 10 or 20 years? That is very important. Who are you in the last 5 or 10 years? So these are the quick questions to begin to ask and answer ourselves. That the next one has to do with the result you get. It has to do with achievement and goals, which is deepening in value creation. Result you get, achievement and goals, which is in value creation. That is, what value are you creating as a result of self-discovery? Because when you have self-discovery, the next you begin to do is to create value. So what value are you creating? And the next one has to do with the people you impart, or the legacy or to the contribution you make in your community. So this one is talking about reputational building. And this is the whole philosophy around growth: self-discovery, value creation, and reputation building, which has to do with who you become, the result you get, and the people you impact. Today, you will learn how to, number one, apply the growth exponential principle to advance your career and even in personal life. You lead yourself, multiplying impact and build systems that sustain peak performance, master the discipline of self-leadership and purpose-based action principle, cultivate habit that drive compounded career growth and business result. So what is this concept of growth exponential? I need you to think of one area where you have made significant progress over time. And the question I want to ask you is, what drove it? Or let me quickly put it this way. What is driving your progress? What is, somebody talk about speed. What is driving speed? What is driving your success, or what is driving your achievement? And that is the key question we need to ask. To reach your potential, you must grow. I said it earlier on, and to grow, you must be highly intentional about it. You know, I've said it today. And now here is the whole framework around the growth exponential. This is the growth framework. So growth exponential refers to a process where progress doesn't just happen in a straight line, but compounds over time. And when you put it in mathematics, it is expressed as growth exponential being equals to value into bracket, purpose plus competency plus consistency raised to power time. Somebody will be saying, where is Fola getting this kind of formula from? Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. So you need to just pay attention to this formula. Growth exponential has a mathematical arrangement because it has to do with ROI, whereby the ROI is the growth exponential in itself. The result you really want to get is the growth exponential. But what are the things that make up this growth exponential? If you have invested in bank before or in asset or anything you have ever invested in, you will have added the word compounding interest, compound. So this is exactly the way growth exponential works. The value is your unique selling point, market fit, or strategic worth. So the question is that if somebody needs to hire you for anything or needs to interact with you, what are the value you can give that person? And like I usually tell in all of my keynotes, I usually tell people that nobody is going to hire you or do business with you or do anything with you just for any other reason. They want to find out what is your value. And as a matter of fact, some people are so good that they actually want to quantify that value and not just the quality of that value. So they need both the quality of the value and also the quantity of that value. The second one is purpose, which we are still going to be talking about, which is clarity of direction and significance. Why does my growth matter? You need to ask that question. Why do you have to grow? Like, why do you have to? And to whom? Purpose gives growth, direction, and endurance. Without it, you can begin to mistake movement for progress. There is what we call the competency, which is the capacity and capability to deliver. Competency is not about knowing everything, it's about mastering the right things consistently. Growth demands capacity, the ability to translate intent into impact. Now let me go deeper into competences. There are two major areas of that competences. If you look at it very well, you see capacity. Capacity talks about your skills, your knowledge, and your attitude. Okay, do you have the right skills? Do you have the right knowledge? Do you have the right attitude? Most of the time, you hardly move ahead in life, or you hardly get something great out of either career or life generally if you don't have capacity. Beyond capacity is what we call the capability. Capability talks about stamina. Now, we give you an example. Just imagine somebody that is so talented, who has been seeking for a job, or who wants to change job, or who really want to start a business. But every attempt, the person keep failing. Every attempt, the person keep failing. Every attempt, the person keep failing. So the only way for that person to maintain focus and get to where they really want to be in life is through capability. Another word for that area of capability is called stamina. Most people are talented, but they lack stamina. And when do you need stamina? Stamina is needed when there is a roadblock. You just lost your job, you just quit job, and you are finding it difficult to find another one. You have a great business, then suddenly it collapsed because of policy or because of economic downtime. Things just begin to happen. So as you grow, you must build those capacity, both capacity and capability. Then the next one is consistency, which has to do with daily habit and discipline execution. We're still going to talk about that one. It convert desire into result. So dream is great, but dream could become wishes without result. You can begin to give up. And what usually leads to, why do I put it? What usually leads to anxiety and, frustration and depression is because dreams or probably wishes, aspiration and ambition are not turning to tangible result. It can be very, very frustrating. You are giving your best, you are trying your best, but you are not getting the right result. I bet you it can be very, very frustrating. And the last one there is the time, which is the compounding multiplier of all growth effort. Over the years, I have discovered one thing. If you have value, you have purpose, you have the right capacity and capability, you are consistent, one thing that will determine the results you get is time. So what it means is that every of your investment in terms of value, purpose, competency, and consistency, it grows and multiplies with time. This is not an addition. It just multiplies with time. And I said something on my Facebook, was it last 2 weeks? And I said, any industry you find yourself, if you can follow some of this growth principle I'll be telling you today, and you are very consistent over the years, like 2, 3, or 4 or 5 years, you just realize that you become the leader in that industry. Suddenly, people begin to notice you. Every professionals we have brought to this place today, we brought them here simply because we discovered that they were very, very consistent in what they do. And as a result of that, they were getting extraordinary results. These are people that I have worked with, and by the time you'll be hearing from them, you begin to see their growth story, their growth challenges, and how they turn things around. Listen to me. If you don't give up at what you do, those right things you are doing currently now, you already know that purpose is attached to it. If you don't give up, you begin to multiply value in no distance time. And that is the essence of this growth exponential today. So let's quickly move forward. I said growth exponential is a system that amplifies your values and multiplies your result. It states that investment in your growth compounds over time to yield exponential result. Exponential individuals or leaders are those who build systems that create increasing returns to scale on their personal or organizational capabilities. Pay attention to those words, increasing returns. Their life and values are designed around purpose, empowered by competence, sustained by consistency, and multiplied by time. Growth exponential explain that consistent actions, if you have not been writing anything down, please write this one down. Consistent actions taken daily creates results that multiply far beyond initial values. Every professionals I have here, every leaders in our industry that I have in this place, they will say yes to that fact. Consistent actions taken daily create results that multiply far beyond initial value. Everything worthwhile is uphill. I love that one from Jose Maswell. Everything worthwhile is uphill. You should be able to predetermine your growth. And we are going to do that today. You look at it. Now, there are two levels of growth. We have the linear one, we have the exponential one. Linear also means that ordinary growth. Okay. When we talk about the linear growth, it actually had value. Linear growth add value. Under linear growth, your effort means output. Then it is activity driven. Now be careful. So many people engage in activity and they misplace it with purpose or growth. It's different. And, by the grace of God, I'm a performance expert, learning and development performance expert. And I will tell you something around activity driven and purpose driven. If you are in any organization, the possibility is that you might not get promoted just doing activity. If you are not strategic in that organization, it's going to be very difficult for you to move ahead, because the people are at the top, they are very strategic, and they will love to move people who are very strategic or who contribute to their strategy up. They want to move them up. Then the next one under the leader growth is being reactive instead of being strategic, proactive, and intentional. Then the final one there is dependent on you. But it's different when it comes to exponential. Under exponential growth, there's what we call multiplication of value. Effort multiplied by system by time is equal to output. So it is not just on effort. So they have effort based on the system. System simply means that there is this purpose, there is goal, there are goals, there are a lot of things you're working and you're doing it with time. Then the next one is that it is purpose driven, it is strategic and intentional. It scales beyond you through system. And if there's anything I'm going to do today, is to see how you can build system for exponential result. So this is the mental shift you must take from doing more to building better. So the difference between I am doing more and I am building better. Some people, they do more activity. They know you as a go-to person. You are just there, but you're not growing, and you know, because you usually feel empty. But when you are building better, you are building yourself, you are connecting yourself with your purpose, and you are getting something done around it, then before you know what is happening, you begin to achieve extraordinary result. So let's look at the story of the Chinese bamboo tree. Majority of us have heard this story before. They said to grow a Chinese bamboo tree, it requires a lot of commitment. You plant the seed and nurture it constantly, yet year one, there won't be any visible growth. Year two, there won't be any sign of activity above the soil. Year 3 and 4, you will see nothing. And most of the time, people that do not understand Chinese bamboo tree, they give up. They say, no, we are not getting the right result. I'll give you an example. Just another story anyway, before I go back to this one. There was an island. There were two people whereby one was using cutlass to cut a tree. So this guy will file it and, begin to cut the tree. But at the long run, the guy gave up because he couldn't cut that tree. When there was another one, the person just used about, let me say, 1 or 2 weeks to file the cutlass. But the other one didn't do that, just carried the cutlass and began to cut. But this guy filed it. So they were now asking the guy, why are you doing this? Why are you taking your time filing this? They just start cutting. Say, don't worry, let me file it enough. And by the time the guy stood up to cut the tree, within a shorter period of time, the tree is down. Compared to the person who didn't file the cutlass, who didn't do anything about it. So I said, then after 5 years of planting the bamboo Chinese tree, then it come alive. Not only did it start growing, but we can see explosive growth at a rate that couldn't have been able to fathom. In 6-week period, the Chinese bamboo tree grows to a staggering 90 feet tall. 90 feet tall. The tree has ever been measured to grow 122 centimeters. That is about 48 inches in just a 24-hour period. That is the story of the Chinese bamboo tree. And I know that you have heard about that story before. Can you look at that picture? Can you see how the root was so rooted, like so down? And that is the strength of the bamboo tree. It takes time, but once you start seeing the bamboo tree, then the growth become explosive. Here's the growth philosophy: process, purpose-driven, character and capacity, value and influence. It takes strong intentionality. Growth doesn't happen automatically. It must be pursued deliberately. So growth requires process. Growth is cumulative, not instantaneous. It is purpose-driven. Everything starts with why. It helps you to build character and capacity because personal growth precedes positional growth. And finally, when you grow, the ultimate goal of growth is impact on others. And here, the psychology of growth, we have heard about this one, the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. The growth mindset believes that their most basic ability can be developed through dedication and hard work, while the fixed mindset believe that capacity to learn and improve cannot be meaningfully developed. I don't know where you belong to, but the truth of the matter is, if you know your purpose, you identify the capacity to develop. When you keep developing the capacity, you keep connecting to the right network and environment, you will definitely have explosive growth. And you can see the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. It has to do with what they say. It is about their mindset. One give up, the other keep trying. One stop trying, the others keep training itself. Some, one saying, I can't do this. The other say, don't worry, I can do it. I will keep doing it. One say, I'm a failure. The other say, no. I'm not a failure. I may not be perfect now, but I'm going to reach perfection. One is saying, this is too difficult. The other one is saying, no, don't worry. Struggle means I am learning. So when you begin to reframe your thought into a good mindset, you begin to achieve extraordinary results. I put in this place, I said that, skill plus right mindset is equal to result. I learned this one in 2021 when I was in an organization called EZ37 Solutions. The first time I saw this, I was just looking at it. The woman said, when you have the right skill with the right mindset, you begin to get results. And truly, it's very correct. Your mindset set the lead or limit on your performance. Without the right mindset, skill produces inconsistent performance. So when you don't have the right mindset, skills begin to produce inconsistent performance. And here is how mindset determines performance. Can you say that? I put it this way, I said that mindset shapes behavior and improves performance. Mindset shapes your behavior. Behavior determines your daily action. Performance, performance means you have quality and you are consistent in delivering high quality output. And at the end of the day, you begin to get the right result. When mindset change, behavior follows and result begins to improve. And here is the growth model I want you to live with. You can write this one down, which is very, very important. Number one is resist the urge for shortcut. You need to commit yourself to a long-term growth and goals. Number two is for you to write the result or goal you want to achieve in the next 5 years. And when you have identified those goals you want to achieve in the next 5 years, break them down into 1 or 2 years, begin to just into small goals. And the next thing you do is identify consistent habit. Now listen, most people stop at that number 2. They just identify goals in January, they break it down in February, then by March, they are just looking at how the goal will turn into result by itself. It's not going to do that. The next thing you need to do is identify consistent habits, purposeful aligned action, and capacity building activity you need to do to sustain impact or the result you really want to get, starting from when you set that goal to the next 5 years. I remember those times when I left service here in 2011. Sincerely speaking, I won't lie to you. I remember the last day I carried my bag, I was leaving. I remember that time we just say goodbye to everybody. But to me, I was so empty. I was so I was so concerned. Anxiety creeps in. My allowance is about to stop. I don't even know what is next. And before that time, I could see majority of my colleagues, they were applying for jobs. Some of them were even getting the job. I could remember that day. I moved from Kwara State back to Ondo State. My room was, they just left I don't know whether my younger brother is there. My room is dead. Nobody was sleeping in my room. Then I enter my room. I was so, I don't know what was next. Then that day, I could remember there's a book I pick up, and the book I would have shown you the book today. I think I forgot because any state I do, I carry that book because it contains everything I'm talking about right now. Then I wrote a lot of things inside that book. It was that day I stumbled on John C. Maxwell, Brian Tracy, some of these people, and I stumbled on them. I said, "Oh, I would like to be like these people now. And what should I do to be like these people?" Then I create a 5 years, growth, growth roadmap for myself. And I remember that day I wrote it down. Okay, I said, okay, I did chemistry in my younger, in my at the degree level, in my undergraduate level, I did chemistry education. One of my colleagues is there. Hello, Dari, our lecturer, our professor in the house. So I did chemistry. Then I knew that day that I will not, I'm not going to use anything with chemistry because I know that a lot of things have changed. The funniest thing, during undergraduate, I didn't have that kind of concept. Even till I finished my NYC, I didn't have it. It was when I was leaving NYC that the truth was staring at me, and I was so afraid. Sincerely speaking, that day that I was leaving NYC, I was so afraid. I don't know how many of you here today that is so afraid. You are so, despite the fact that you have so much talent, you are earning well, but you are still afraid. There's anxiety about the future. You don't know what what it really means. Sincerely speaking, I've been there. I've been there. Then that day, after 1 week, I told my grandma, because I live with grandma all my life, I said, see, I will be leaving to Lagos. Why are you going to Lagos? Do you know, this funny thing is I don't have anybody in Lagos. I used to have an uncle in Lagos, but I don't even know where the uncle stayed. But there's one uncle I know in Agbara. So the right uncle, I know the uncle in Agbara. So I called the uncle that, okay, I'm coming to meet you at Agbara. Then I left, I went there. I think I spent about 2 weeks. Then I realized that in that 2 weeks, they keep giving me food and I was eating. And I almost want to lose focus of why I was going to Lagos. Then after 2 weeks, I stood up. There's one guy I knew in Lagos that time. Then I collected the contact of the guy. Hello, guy, I'm coming to meet you. Then I got there. Then probably he didn't tell the wife that I'm coming. A lot of things just happened that day. I know that, hey, I have entered what we call one chance in Lagos. What is next for me? Then I don't know anybody. And see, I don't want to bore you with that story. It was a story of pains before the light begins to come. But that 5 years growth roadmap I set for myself, I began to follow it. I could remember in 2023, that is what I began my HR journey. I met one man. I said, hey, hello, I like to just do what you're doing. He said, okay, no problem. What did you study in school? I said, I did chemistry. Oh, chemistry. So okay. Have you ever done anything? I said, no. He said, okay, no problem. I could remember that time I was following him, and I joined the organization as an intern. I don't even know I'm an intern, but I was just like the person they are sending up and down to run an errand. But while doing that, I was seriously learning what they were doing. Then suddenly, the kind of person I am, and because I've started developing myself and in what they do, then I begin to contribute to what they do. When I know what is happening, I begin to, the whole story just changed. In 2014, I went for my master's degree. I did my counseling psychology. Then I begin to focus on earning my HR certification. And I won't lie to you, today, all of those things has become a story. But it was a story that started with anxiety. It was a story that started with fear. It was a story that started with what is next for me going from here. But the growth to me has been massive, but I'm not there yet. Sincerely speaking, I'm not there yet. And don't worry, in the next 5 years too, you are going to see what will be happening with Fola. But by the time you are living here today, we want to be able to work with you in such a way that you begin to multiply impact, you begin to multiply value. So now that you understand what this growth model is all about, there are 3 areas of, we call it decision system, the 3P filter. Number one thing is that going forward, probably what you are doing currently now, or what you want to do after now, you can ask this question: what I'm doing currently, or what I'm about to do in the future, does it align with my purpose and core value? I could remember one time Mommy was telling me that, I said, Fola, you are doing what you have passion for. You are doing what aligns to your purpose. I said, I love it. Whether you pay me, you don't even pay me. I love what I'm doing. Why? Did I love it because it aligned with my purpose? It aligned with my core value. Then the next one is, does it strengthen my competency? Yes. Every of my investment in myself is towards my purpose, it's towards everything I do. And the question is, can I sustain it with consistency? Yes, I can sustain it. So when you are making decision around growth, these are the area you need to focus on. Is it this 3P filter is really going to help you? Does it align with your purpose and core value? Does it strengthen your competencies? Can you sustain it with consistency? If the answer is no to 2 or to 1, then it's not good exponential. It's distraction disguised as, as opportunity. Now, let's look at this module 2. I call it the purpose-based action principle. Purpose-based action principle. And why am I saying this? Because you need to be careful where your effort is going. You need to be very careful where you align your effort to. And that's why we want to talk about it. What is purpose in itself? Purpose is a stable and generalized intention to accomplish something that is at the same time meaningful, the self, and consequential for the world beyond the self. It's our pursuit of success. Purpose is not star that guides a journey. It's about finding profound meaning and authenticity. It connects personal success with a deeper, more significant existence. And according to John C. Maxwell, he said, when you find your why, you will find your way. And that is the growth journey. You need to find your why so that you can set the way and there will be no distraction. So because one of the things that stop growth is distraction. When you are distracted, when you feel like giving up. But when you find your why, every other thing begin to fall in place. Let's look at this. How do you discover and reignite your purpose? There are these 4 areas. Number 1, you need to define your why. Currently now, why? What is your why? Why are you in existence? Why do you do what you're doing? Why do you join that organization? It's very important. And the next one is you need to understand your value. Values are the guiding stars of our lives, and it determines how you make decisions. That is the guiding principle, something that guides you. And number 3 is identify your talent, passion, and strength. All this one play significant role in how you grow. What is your talent? What is your passion? What are your strengths? What are your gifts and magics? And the last one is that you unleash your magic. You need to share your magic and make the world a better place. And that is the goal of the why. And there are 4 quadrants of the purpose arena. The purpose and the action principle. There are 4 areas of the quadrant. We have the dreamers, people with high purpose but no action. They can speak from today to tomorrow about their goals. They talk so much about how the future should look like, but they take any actions. We call them the dreamers. Then we have the drifters. They have low purpose, no actions. They don't have purpose and they hardly take actions. They follow people. They just need people. They just follow them. They are living for nothing. And the next one are the actors. These people have low purpose, but high actions. And that is what I said. You need to be very careful so that you don't engulf yourself in activities instead of you doing something that is so purposeful. Okay. And the final person in that place are the visionaries. And that is exactly where I want you to go. They have high purpose and high action. That is to say, they have the purpose they are living for. They have the vision. They have the mission statement. They have the value statement. They have the goals well clear, and they are taking actions to ensure that all of these are actualized. And here is the purpose-based action principle. It said that purpose fuels energy, and energy drives actions. And at the end of the day, when your energy aligned with your purpose, then you begin to drive result. Not just result, exponential result. And that is all about the purpose-based action principle. He said that your energy should move in the direction of your purpose. Your greatest investment should be on your purpose. Like today, I dedicate today for this program because every of my investment today is on this program because this is where my purpose align. How can I help you to grow? How can I help you to become more productive? How can I help you to become more effective? I am like a king's maker. I am somebody that helps people to discover their dreams, and I can work with them to ensure that they are actualizing those dreams. So all your energy, all my energy must be aligned with purpose so that it can drive the result that we want to achieve. Then I said this, I said, your purpose needs people, mentors, coaches, sponsors, and trusted friends. You must not walk alone in the journey of purpose. You must get a mentor. Some of my mentors are in this place today. I'm working with them. When I don't know what to do, I know whom to call. I call them. Hello, ma. My coach, they are here today. I have sponsor here today. I have trusted friends here today. And we come together. And you too, you must be able to do that. Remember, one is too small of a number to achieve greatness. And your network, hey, underline that one. Your network determines your net worth. I attended one program. I think myself and Shiwe, I don't know what if Shiwe is there. Was it about 3 months ago? We attended one professional network like that. It was a gala, one gala event like that. And I met a woman. The woman said that they were the one that started Wins Big. I think one of the Wins Big network is there, and that is one of my mentor, Nkeshe is there. And she started talking about how they started. And it's a mentorship network. And she mentioned something that day. He said, hey, the next person to you right now, like for example, all of us in this place today, how many are we currently now? You are my value of today and tomorrow. Let me repeat it. Let me repeat it. All of you here today, including myself here today. Let me start from myself. I am your value of today. And as a matter of fact, if we keep the relationship very stronger, I become your value of tomorrow. Like I told you, I have my mentor here. They are my value of today. If I keep the relationship stronger, they become my value of tomorrow. Listen, the reason we might be struggling today might be a disconnect from a mentor, or a disconnect from a coach, or a disconnect from a sponsor, or a disconnect from a trusted friend. Who is a mentor? A mentor is somebody that provides guidance, advice, and support, often based on personal experiences. Who are your coaches? These are people that facilitate personal or professional development through specific techniques and strategies. Like what I'm doing currently now. I am performing the role of a coach. Okay. Then a step forward, it could become a role of a mentor. And who knows, a step forward, it could become a role of a sponsor. I have one of my sponsors here. I met amazing NK. I call her amazing NK. That's Nkeshire in 2021. She was the one that interviewed me for a role in FCMB when I was to join them as a faculty management lead. And I joined that. And I can never forget the experience, my experience with her. I was coming from consulting, no banking experience, but I said there's something in this guy that we didn't want to get. Normally, by the time I entered the organization, I realized that there were internal staff that were qualified for the role I took up. I said, wow. So I would have loved such an opportunity, but she saw something which probably others do not see. Sponsor. They advocate for and support an individual's growth and advancement. And today, it's going to be very difficult for me to remove her from my growth journey or from my growth story. Everybody needs the sponsor. You must try your best. And let me tell you something. There are principles around this one. This could be another training or another event entirely. How do you manage your mentors, your coach, and sponsors? Then finally, trusted friends. Individuals who offer emotional support and companionship and honest feedback. You need a friend that can give you honest feedback about yourself, because that is the only way you grow. Yeah, I love this one. I said, you are one person away. Write it down. I am just one person away in getting extraordinary result. I am just one person away in multiplying value or in multiplying my impact. I said, connect people to your purpose. So there are three areas of these people. Number one, we have the burden sharers, someone who shares the passion with you. Number two, we have the dream makers, someone who ushers you into your destiny. Number three, we have the way maker, someone who prepares the way for you and makes your dream possible. You know, I'm a faith man. Personally, if I am praying, I pray for these three people in my life. I know that I am always with the way maker, which is God, my Lord Jesus Christ. Apology to our Muslim in the house, but the truth of the matter is that everybody needs a way maker. Everybody needs a dream maker. Everybody needs a body sharer, and you must genuinely connect with them. Paying the price of purpose. The price of purpose is painful, but you need to know that pains serve a purpose. Write it somewhere. Pain is a gift and it serves a purpose. Hey, thank God I have some of my colleagues in this place and they know how much we invest in earning or gaining professional development. It's not easy. Certifications. Some of us, we pay in dollar. We will not even eat. We will turn our lunch, afternoon, night money into earning and a certification, into going. This, thank God, this event is free. But who knows? By this time next month, you could be paying close to 500,000 on this event. So some of us will pass through the pain of growth. And truly, just like the issue of lava to butterfly, pain is a gift. What I want to tell you today is embrace the pain. Accept pain as part of the process. Growth lives outside comfort zone and you must leave it. I've shown you today. Expand your horizon and reach for the stars. Number three, turn pains to opportunity. Learn, grow, and maximize the situation. And number four, don't let pain define whom you are. Write it down, because that is what is happening today. Some people are living a victim life because pain is defining whom they are. Don't let it. Reinvent yourself and tell your story. Purpose doesn't make the journey easier. Oh my God. It makes the struggle meaningful. Write it down. I don't know what you're passing through now, but the truth of the matter is that it's going to make your struggle meaningful. And this is the place I love so much as I'm rounding up, the discipline of self-leadership. Once I'm done with this, then I will give you the growth system. Once I'm done with this, I will give you the growth system. The discipline of self-leadership. Self-leadership is the ability to direct your thought, emotions, and actions toward a defined purpose, regardless of external pressures. It is the practice of identifying and accomplishing meaningful goals. Once you know what you need in order to flourish, self-leadership is what will get you there. And there are three areas that you need to develop to master self-leadership. Number one is mind mastery. What does it mean? What is the meaning of mind mastery? That is your ability to regulate your emotions and maintain mental clarity under pressure. Because during growth process, it comes with pressure. The only thing you can do at that stage is to embrace growth mindset. Develop your emotional intelligence. Strengthen your relationship with people. Regulate your emotions and maintain mental clarity under prayer. Number two is decision mastery. You have to ensure that you keep making consistent, value-based choices, even in ambiguity, when you don't even know what to do. You need to keep doing that. And finally, you need to develop behavioral mastery, translating intentions into habits that sustain high performance. So there are some habits that will help you to achieve extraordinary result or exponential results. Now listen to this. Growth collapses when willpower replaces structure. It is your self-leadership that will build internal governance system. If you lack self-leadership, you will not get the results you want. And it is rooted in your routine, what you do daily. If you can tell me what you do daily, I can tell you what you can become in the next 5 years, and you will think I'm a prophet. I'm not a prophet. One of the things I can guarantee for you right now is this. If every of your daily actions is not in line with your purpose and the goal you have set for yourself, I can guarantee you that before this year ends, you will achieve no result. You are not going to get any result. I want to make 3 million before the year ends, and everything you do daily is to sleep and wake up and eat. It's not going to happen. You have to go to that street. You have to write that proposal. You have to submit that CV. You have to connect to it. You have to go to a particular network. You have to, set yourself right there. The next one is reflection circle. You need to keep track of your actions and ask yourself, is it in line with what I said I want to do? And the last one there is response patterns. What are your actions to your goals? What are your actions to your daily challenges? What are your actions to life? Very, very important. I put in this place, I said poor self-leadership shows up when someone has lost internal alignment between what they say and what they believe and what they do. I said strong self-leadership, on the other end, is about self-mastery. Before management, character before competence, and intentional growth before external success. Let me repeat it again. Strong self-leadership is about self-mastery before management. You manage yourself first before you manage others. You lead yourself first before you lead others. It's about character before competencies. You build your character before you begin to build other skills. And it's about intentional growth before external success. Because we have realized that if skills, talent take you so far, character can bring you so low. And the funniest thing is that it is as high that you go, character will multiply it and take you as low as possible if you have a flawed character. So keep building character. So why is self-leadership critical? Number one, it's a foundation of growth. You need it for purpose alignment, and it is a multiplier effect. It can take you far in life. What are the signs that you have poor self-leadership? Number one, you lack accountability. You lack clear direction. You are always reactive in life. You are weak when it comes to discipline. You have low self-awareness and self-esteem. You have integrity gaps. What you say, it does not align with your word and value. You have a passive mindset. Another word is fixed mindset. You have a very poor influence. But by the time you are leaving this place today, everything will change. There are 4 disciplines of self-leadership. Number one is self-awareness. Who am I? What are my goals? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses and values and triggers? Number 2 is self-management. We call it the discipline of regulating your behavior, emotion, and actions to remain aligned with your goals and purpose. And number 3 is self-motivation, the ability to inspire and sustain your own drive, even without external validation. Like I told you, it could be painful, but you need self-motivation to ensure that you are always forging ahead. And the last one there is self-discipline, the capacity to consistently do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Discipline ensures that these small daily actions are consistent. And when you apply it, it begins to multiply. And the final one today is for you to build a growth exponential system. System build what motivation cannot sustain. Growth is not an event. Listen, it's not a one-time thing. It's an architecture. It is something you need to build. Systems make exponential growth sustainable and scalable. When I talked to you about the bamboo tree the other time. And one thing about that bamboo tree is that anybody that wants to plant it, they are very intentional about it. So systems are what turn intention into habit and habit into outcome. Growth is fragile if it depends on willpower alone. Systems sustain growth. You should be able to step away from your process in such a way that by the time you step away, it's keep running. I've seen people that build business, they are not always there and the business is moving. I know that there are business owners in this place. Can your business continue without you being in the picture? You don't have business. So if nothing works until you are there, you don't have business. Even some of us here that are leaders, you are a team lead. I usually tell in my network, I tell them that if you are not at work and things don't get done, then you are not leading. You are losing some most important aspect of your growth exponential. Okay, and thank God There's somebody I've reported to before in this place. There's a rule. There's a rule in the department. She will tell us that if anybody go on leave, the person is on leave. You dare call the person. You don't call the person. If the person has gone on leave, the person is on leave. So let me ask you this question. If you go on leave today, can that department run? Can that division run? Can that group run? Can that business run? Systems are the secret to making growth intentional. Systems are how strategy survives execution. So without system, strategy, strategy will just be like a mere witches. That is it. So here are the system framework for growth. Number one, you must build habit system. What is your habit system? You must take daily consistent actions which are in line with your purpose and goals, and you must automate this behavior. Okay. For me right now, I know there are some learning I need to do, certification I need to register for, courses I need to take, networking I need. Only God knows number of events I've gone to this year just to improve myself. I have paid for it. I have gone there. You must do all those things daily. Number two is accountability system. You must leverage on your mentor, coach, find yourself in a professional network to sustain growth behavior. You can't grow without that accountability system. I could remember there was an area of my PhD that I was struggling with. Then one day I just go to the office and I told one of my colleagues, I said, please come, I want you to be my accountability partner. I want to move from this level to this level. And within 3 weeks, I moved. So I don't know whether she's here. I want to say thank you to you, Shamaka. God bless you. Then the next one is measurement system. You must find a way to evaluate your progress. You must find a way to evaluate your growth process. You must find a way. You must set performance for yourself. I was reading something on LinkedIn, and the guy said the reason why goals are not achieved because it has not been broken down into KPIs. KPIs means key performance indicators. You must set one for yourself. You must set one for yourself. In the first quarter of 2026, I must finish my certification. I must complete my PhD. I must complete my master's degree. I must raise this money and join this professional network. I must subscribe for a coach or for a mentorship program. You just have to set all those things for yourself. And the final one there is renewal system. Prioritize personal well-being, emotional stability, mental stamina, and lifelong learning. I am going to place more emphasis in this place. Some of us, because we want to achieve results, we just forget ourselves. We are not kind to ourselves. We are not compassionate to ourselves. It's very wrong. You must be compassionate to yourself. We call it self-compassion, self-loving. You must bury yourself into learning, and you must engage, in activities that sustain mental stability, emotional stability, financial stability. You must do all of these things. Let me ask yourself this. I want you to ask yourself this question. If my current system and values were a business, would I invest in them? Can you invest in yourself right now? Can you invest in yourself? So by the time we are leaving this place today, by the time I'm asking you this question, you should be able to tell yourself that I can invest in myself. So if not, it's time to rebuild your growth model intentionally, exponentially, and purposefully. In conclusion, you will never change your life until you change some things you do daily. Growth is not a mystery. It's not something that is written somewhere. It is a mindset. It is a discipline and a journey. And I want to welcome you into the growth exponential journey. I want to believe that we can be on this journey together, right? And by the time I'm hearing from you, by this time next year, in the next 2 years or 5 years, you will say, wow, I attended this program today and my life has really changed. I want to say thank you for listening to me. I hope I have not wasted your time in this short period of time. Let me see how you feel in the comment section. I hope I did not waste your time. And please do not be in a hurry to go. Don't be in a hurry to go. We are moving to the next stage of what we are about to do. Thank you so much. I love what I'm seeing in the comment section. I am seeing a lot of wow. So Uwoma say this was beyond my expectation. Tibita, you say, wow, this is awesome. Additionally, you say, I'm not wasting your time, not at all. Onini say, great. So Onini, I think we can give them some time to ask questions, right? Before we move into the panel session, right? So please, if you have questions, just drop it in the comment section and you can raise up your hand to ask those questions before we move into the panel session. The panel session will commence by 11:30 and all our panel members, they are already here and they are so wonderful people. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad I joined this. Thank you so much, Anita. That's great. Abiodun, thank you. Oh, he said I should have known you before now. Yes, we are getting to know each other now. That's fantastic. So over to you, Nini. If you have questions, please go ahead and actually ask. Over to you, Nini. Thank you so much. Hello,
wow,
Mrs.
once
Olini.
again, good morning, everyone. Once again, good morning, everyone. I hope you all can hear me. Please confirm that you can hear me. Please, can we use our emojis? Can you use our virtual hands to please celebrate Mr. Fola Vincent? What a session. I was so inspired listening to him. And you know, the thoughts he has brought to the fore, they are so real. They are so real. They are literal. They are things you can literally handle. And I'm just so grateful to God for your growth journey, which you have opened us up to today. We are saying, well done, sir. Thank you for paving a way for every one of us to follow it. All right. Like he has said, we would like to just take a few questions before we go into the panel sessions proper. But their highlights I have picked out through his conversation, and I would just like to note them before we go into the question session. You know, one of the things that has stood out for me that is very profound whilst he spoke to us is that exponential growth comes from consistent daily actions that produce results far beyond their initial value. You know, these are things you and I can comprehend with. That's the truth. Another thought, very striking, he did share was that growth is cumulative. It is not instantaneous. It is the product of intentional actions and daily disciplines. Come on. He did note that there are no excuse for what you can take responsibility for. What thought-provoking conversation he has led us on this morning. Mr. Fola Vincent, we want to say thank you for such a transformational delivery you have brought us this morning.
Thank you.
So we would like to take questions, please, before we go into the panel session. I'm looking at the chat box and I'm looking up for your questions. I haven't seen any yet, but just in case you would like to just speak, ask your question directly, you can unmute and then just speak to the questions, and we trust Mr. Fola Vincent will do justice to the questions in our heart. All right, we're waiting for you. So it could be a question, it could be a high point, it could be a highlight. It could be something that stood out for you whilst he spoke. So that can be very inspiring for every one of us as well on the call. So please, let's have you speak. It's important that he gets this feedbacks as well, so he understands that he has done a great job this beautiful morning. All right, please unmute your mic and let's have you speak. Oh, great. I can see you in Kechiere. Please go on.
Morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me and see me.
Yes.
All right, so
yes, we can.
I would like to, my own is just to really encourage Fola and let him know I'm super proud of him. I used to be Fola's manager in FCMB, and I can tell you for free that I have actually seen the growth, and I'm proud of you, Fola. Fola is growing. I was just saying to my husband, I'm so proud of this young man. He keeps raising the bar. I'm proud of you, Fola, and this is just the stepping stone. We are in this thing together. Well done. And good job, very good job. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you so much. Amazing.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
So much.
Thank you so much, Ikechiere. Please, we want to have more thoughts, questions, highlights, high points, strong points, wherever the conversation has met you this morning. Please, let's hear you. Let's get the feedback. Yes, I can see clapping ovations. We want to know how, or hear from you. We want to answer the questions in your heart. Mr. Fola and Vincent will be glad to hearing from us. Okay. Yeah, there's a question here already, Mr. Fola, sir. It's coming from one of us on the call, and it's saying power packed session. It says, so for someone just starting out, how do you get the right mentors, sponsors, and coaches? It says, for someone just starting out, how do you get the right mentors, sponsors, and coaches? Please go on, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The first thing, before we go into that arena of choosing who's going to be a coach, a mentor, the first thing, which is the background or a framework that you need to pay attention to, which is the first one, is what is your purpose? What is the goal of that mentorship? What is the goal you want to achieve from that coaching? So this will now determine who you want to choose as your mentor or a coach. And I'll give you an example. For me, I really want to grow and be a leader in my career, which I have chosen HR. So every opportunity I have to meet with HR leaders, I always want to maximize it. And most of the time, I will intentionally ask them, please, will you like to be my mentor? Okay, so HR leaders in my network or in my professional community, I look forward to them. And like I said today, thank God I have some of them in this place. I will extend an invitation. Hey, hello, Ma. There's something I know about you. And because I want to grow professionally in my career, and I've seen that you have really grown. I want to be like you. If there's anything you can do, so from there we establish a mentorship for a mentorship goal for that purpose. So every mentorship program has a goal. So if I know the goal you want to achieve now, probably it is about relationship. Then you have to look for somebody who has great relationship. Okay, if it is for finance, then you have to look for somebody who is great at managing money or multiplying money. So what is the purpose of that mentorship? It is very, very important. Then the second one is that every mentor has special characters, special features. So you could look at them before you choose them. But the most important thing is that if you know that what they do align with what you want to become, align with the goal you want to achieve, then formally, either you write to them or you visit them and tell them you want them to be your mentor. Is that correct? That is about a mentorship. Then about coaching, the same thing is applicable, but one thing about coaching is that you don't need somebody who is higher than you to be your coach. Okay, though coaching is becoming a very strong profession, which is very, very well regulated right now. So not everybody can just be your coach. Okay, not everybody can just be your coach, because you're going to pay if you need a coach. So the same thing applicable. A coach is going to ask you, what problem do you want to solve? What goal do you want to achieve? Or what S, Y, and Z do you want to do? Then once you agree together, then you are able to, to strike a deal around it. Then about sponsor is different, because most of the time your sponsor could be your line manager, your direct report, or it could be your second level line manager. But most of the time, you are not the one that chooses them. You don't choose your sponsors. They choose you based on what you have done. Okay, probably they see you that you are very exceptional, and they could just bring you close. they just want to help you. Then probably they see your purpose, they see your dream, they see your goals, and they became attached to you. Oh, come, let me look at what you're doing. And from there, they really want to help or assist. So one of the times, sponsors take time and study you from afar. Then with time, they bring you close because they want to help you. And I'm sorry, I'm not a politician, but I'm just using the man as an example. When you look at Tinubu now in his circle, he's a mentor. Yeah, at a point, he may be acting as a coach to some of them, but he was a sponsor to majority of the people he has helped to rise. You might hate him, but that area of him is a real lesson for people that really want to, that are seeking out is what is the advantage of mentorship, coaching, and sponsorship. Okay, so will you realize that most of the time the sponsor usually demand for loyalty. They want you to serve them, and truth of the matter is that I can usually tell people, if I am reporting to you as my supervisor, my goal is very simple because I know that you are my number one sponsor. So my goal is very simple. I am to make your work shine. I am to ensure that I serve you well. It's not about whether what do you call it? Let's call it politics. It's not about politics. Is a good thing. It's if you know how to play it. But the politics there is that once I know you are my sponsor, I want you to be my sponsor. Recommend me where I will not be able to speak. I will give you some example. Thank God, my sponsor, he has wanted to be my sponsor, and she will continue to be my sponsor anyway. I remember the first time I met in Kishinyere was through a chat on LinkedIn. I just chatted her up on LinkedIn. I don't know what she has forgotten now. I chatted her on LinkedIn, and that's what I said. Growth is intentional. Okay. I took that step. I shouted that out. I said, wow, I love what you're doing. I don't know. I would have shown you the LinkedIn message I sent. It was a long message like that. Oh, I love what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. Do you know why I shouted that up? Because I saw that he has gotten to a level which I want to be too. So I shouted that up. And the next thing I saw was that there was an opportunity, and our hands just exchanged hands. Things just begin to insane like that. The next thing I saw, they invited me for an interview. Can you see that? She has forgotten, but I didn't forget. Okay. So right from that first stage of I want you to be my mentor, it moved to like at the end of the day I was working with her. And I won't lie to you, a particular time came within the organization. She has to build a strong case for me that Fola has done well. Let's move Fola to the next grade. And that's what happened. She did it. That's what happened. So mentorship, you can choose them. Coach, you can choose them, you can pay for it. But sponsorship, it is based on your character, it is based on your work ethos, it is based on your purpose and vision. These people can decide to say, okay, move close, and they can decide to say, we don't want you here. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Okay, Victor Ita. Oh, okay. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. We'll come back to the messages on the chat box. Thank you.
That's all right. Yeah, good morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Fola. Yeah, God bless you. My question is, I think I was a little bit confused because this is the first time I'm hearing growth in this dimension. I know growth is just, it's like exponential or incremental, or but I never knew it to this level. Fantastic. So I just want to say thank you.
Fantastic.
Then my question is, how do I merge growth and transformation? Because I am an educator and also an aspiring speaker, and I looked at a niche to carve a niche for myself. And I was looking at growth and transformation. So I don't know whether growth and transformation can go together. And I'm actually confused at the moment. Then thirdly, I think this is an opportunity because I don't know, I could also be a mentee? I don't mind being under your tutelage.
Yeah,
I think it's an opportunity.
You're already doing what we are talking about in this event. That's what you're doing. Yeah, it's allowed. It's allowed. Okay, let me go straight. You can talk about transformation without talking about growth. Okay. So I also want to speak to all our audience. Please, you can mute your mic and also ensure that your video, you how do I put it? Be careful about your video. If you know you are not well dressed, do not show your video. There's a reason we allow everybody to use their video and their mic, is because we want it to be engaging, okay, and interactive. And so that's what we're doing. So once I answer Victor questions, we move straight to the panelist section, okay, so that we can manage our time. You are still going to ask, allow people to ask more questions, okay? So let me quickly go back to that. You can't talk about transformation without talking about growth. Neither can you talk about growth without talking about transformation. And I'm going to use an analogy for you, okay? For example, there's what we called VAT, okay? They give back to somebody, right? They give back to somebody. Then from there, the person at a particular stage of the life of that person, the person begins to give back to body. You call it production, right? You call it production. So from you were giving back to into the time you begin to also give back, production. So from the time you were giving back to the level there, you get married and start the process of you giving back, okay? That is a growth process. So which is from birth to maturity. That is a pure growth process, okay? So by the time I'm now moving to exponential, then we now move to what refers to as reproduction. But the reproduction at this level is different from the production level I was discussing the other time, which is the growth at the maturity level. Reproduction simply means that you did not just give birth, but you want to reproduce yourself in the life of those children. Is that okay? Come, please, you could close your camera, okay? You could close your camera, come, Tamara Pere. Am I making sense to you, Victor? I don't want to speak some grammar, okay?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with
Somebody
you.
gave back to you. Now you gave birth, but you did not stop there. You want to ensure that in your children, part of your value is transferred, not just transferred, but is multiplied. Your impact in them is transferred, not just transferred, but is multiplied. That is where transformations comes in. And it is still part of the growth journey. It's a level of the growth journey, okay? So transformation simply means that at this level of my life, I am reproducing myself. I have left the area of production, which is at your own level, using your effort, using everything about you. But this time around, you are now impacting others, and that is where transformation comes in. You are building for a supervisor is building people. He's not just a supervisor, but he wants to create as many supervisors as possible. You are a CEO or MD. You are not just an MD or CEO, but you want to produce as many MD and CEO as possible that are working with you. So what it means is that if you are not there in 1 month, in 2 months, there are other people that can think exactly like you. In fact, so many people are already lining up to take up your role. And that should be the goal of every individual in this place. Whether you are leading or you are supervisor or anywhere you are currently, you should be able to multiply yourself. So the question is that what gives back to this event is because I want to use this medium, this process to also multiply myself. And I know that you may not be like Fola, but you could look at some of the principles of Fola, you use it, and you are now getting the result that you want. So I am in a way multiplying myself. So there is a little of Fola in you right now. And by the time you begin to replicate, you will know where you learn those things from. So you can't talk about growth and not talk about transformation. And neither can you talk about transformation and not talk about growth. And the question is that what is the thin line? What is the thin line? So growth speaks to mastery. It speaks to maturation. Transformation speaks to impact. So, but your growth is not sufficient, it's not enough until it gets to a level of transformation whereby you begin to multiply impact. Is that okay, Victor?
Sir, can you take that last line, please? That resonates powerfully. Can you
Sorry,
take the last line?
those things just come. You know, I'm like a little orator. Those things just come.
All
I
right,
said,
thank you.
where your growth probably stop or
Okay.
matures, that is where transformation begins. So your growth speaks to maturity.
Okay.
That's where your growth speaks to. Why transformation begins to speak to impact. And when you look at growth exponential, it's as good as it combines your growth with transformation. Is that okay?
Noted. Sorry so
Okay,
much. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Mr. Fola Vincent. Always inspiring listening to you. So we have someone, and we've got lots of questions that are being dropped on the chat box already.
Can we take them after the panel or during the panel session? We can just move it together.
Yes.
Then I've just sent an updated document to you. I don't know whether you have seen it. You could please try to check. So let's move to the panel session, because these are great people and we don't want to affect their timing. Okay, so I know that we're going to have a lot of time for questions, so there is a time for that. Let's just move ahead. Thank you, Nini. And while you are doing, try to download what I sent to you. Just confirm that you've seen it.
Okay. Checking that. Yes, I've seen it.
Okay,
I've seen it.
Thank you. So let's move to the session. Thank you.
All right. So we're about the panel session. Very quickly, I like to say that we have an inspiring lineup of professionals whose growth journeys truly worth sharing. And they're going to be taking us through their authentic stories of discovery and leadership, just as Mr. Fola Vincent has done this morning. And they're going to also be showing us how intentional actions and daily disciplines has multiplied their impact over time. So please, may I quickly introduce them.
Okay, Odini, we can hear you. While we are waiting for you, hello, Mrs. Onini, we can hear you. So while we are waiting,
yes.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
All right. So can you all hear me once again?
Yes, we can.
Oh, beautiful. So I was saying that we have a lineup of inspiring professionals whose growth journeys are truly worth sharing. And they're going to be taking us through the authentic stories of discovery and leadership, showing us how intentional actions and daily disciplines has multiplied their impact over time. So I'm going to quickly introduce them. But before I do so, I'm saying that we're encouraged to please ask questions. Do drop your questions on the chat box. We're going to be taking them. Also note that your questions as the conversations unfold. I'll be looking out for them so I can read them all out. But may I quickly introduce them quickly so you get to know them before we start engaging with them. So one of them is Chinwe Obianyo, great people. She's a lawyer and a certified human resource professional with over 15 years of cross-industry experience, spanning management and counseling. Please, ma'am, we would like that you unmute your video, let the audience see you just as I introduce you so they know whom I'm speaking to. Thank you so much, ma'am. So I was saying that she's a lawyer and a certified senior human resource professional with over 15 years of cross-industry experience, spanning management, consulting, financial services, beautiful health, and fintech. She holds a master's in international business management from the University of West London, UK. She's a certified trainer. She has worked with top organizations, and she serves as the head of people and culture at Core Technologies, where she integrates strategic HR and business excellence to driving organizational growth. Yes, that's her on the screen, so you meet her right away. And then the second we have on our array of panelists is Nkechiere Ojago. I guess Mr. Fola Vincent cited her whilst he was building his conversation with us. So she's an award-winning strategic HR professional and people development expert. Please, you can look to the screen, you will find her there. She's got over 18 years of HR leadership across counseling, banking, telecoms, and distribution. She's a first-class graduate of Business Administration from the University of Lagos. Nkechi holds several top-tier certifications, including SPHRI, Senior, and ACIPM. She's the immediate past group head, Human Capital Development at Simba Group, and the former head of Training Academy at SCMB. She leads Colas Professional Services Limited, an HR consulting and training firm, and her career is marked by excellence, innovation, and deep commitment to human capital transformation. Also, we have with us Omoye Brima. Omoye Brima is a result-driven HR professional with a decade of experience across talent management, HR strategy, and organizational development. She's a graduate from the University of Lagos. She's a certified senior professional in HR and a full member of the CIHRM and an associate member of CIPM. She currently serves as the lead talent acquisition, HR business partnering, and HR operations at Novabank. And she's the founder of Sourcing Hive and lead coach at Career Heights. She's recognized as an HR Rising Star in 2025 by the HR Expo Africa and HR Spotlight Award D 2024. She's passionate about empowering people, building high performance teams, and driving impactful HR innovation. Okay, we move on to the next, which is Mr. Charles Adekunle. Please, let's have him on the view right now. Mr. Charles Adekunle is a seasoned business strategist and learning and development specialist with deep expertise in sales, business development, and process optimization. He serves as the head of business at Brand Crest Limited, a leading consulting and training firm in Lagos. He holds a postgraduate diploma in project management, certifications in instructional designs and HR, degrees from the University of Lagos and Adekunle Adjacent University. He's a respected member of United Actiad. Charles has trained professionals across top organizations, including banks as JT, Polaris, FCMB, and Custodian Insurance. He's known as the energetic delivery and transformative training impact. He's known for his energetic delivery and transformative training impact. We run down to the next, which is Felomu Daniel. Yes, I think it's the last. Felomu Daniel, great. I can see you already on the screen. He's a dynamic HR professional specializing in total rewards with a decade of progressive experience across banking, finance, and the maritime industry. His career began with Stanbic IBTC Bank and evolved through roles at SMT Nigeria and the Tom Group before moving into HR leadership. He currently serves as a lead in Sterling Bank Limited, where he designs and implements innovative total rewards framework that attracts, motivates, and retains top talent. He's recognized for his integrity, analytical depth, and strategic HR insights, merging financial discipline with people-centered innovation. We're so glad to have them this beautiful morning with us at the Exponential Growth 2025. Please, can we use our emojis? Can we applaud them? Like I said earlier, they are going to be sharing with us their growth journeys, and which is what hearing. It is an authentic story we're going to be hearing today about their discoveries and leadership, and how we can and how they have taken actions and disciplines that has multiplied their impact over time. So this brings us into the session proper, and we're going straight away into it. But before we begin to take the questions from everyone on the call that has been posted there, I just like to lead the conversation quickly, and then every other will follow. All right. Okay, so this morning we're going to begin with Nkechi Erejego. Nkechi Erejego, we're going to begin with you, ma'am. Your story is so inspiring, and I'm sure every one of us on the call are just wanting to hearing what your growth journey been like. And so this morning, I'm going to just be asking you this very important question. Your career shows a deep passion for people development. And so, ma'am, at what point did you realize your purpose was connected to helping others grow? And then how did you shape your own growth journey? Please permit that I take the question again. Yes. The question is, your career shows a deep passion for people development. And some of us here are on that path. We have that passion, but we would like to hear how you realized your purpose was to connect to people and helping them grow. And how did you shape your own growth journey? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Voke, for that question. And good day, everyone. Super excited to be here. My name is Nkechinya Rujego, but you can call me NK for short. And like Fola would say, or calls me,
amazing NK.
Thank you. So you can call me Amazing NK. Thank you. All right. And so I go straight into, providing response to the question. So as a little girl, I used to say that I would like to be a teacher in the future. I did stop at that as I started tutoring my younger siblings then. And I would even pick up my father's old newspapers and be marking and scoring imaginary students on the papers. I'm sure we can relate, with this. Now, from the latter days of my primary education to secondary, and at some point during my tertiary education, I used to help my teachers copy notes and mark examination scripts. So you can see that this teacher thing is in me, right? However, because my father used to be a banker, I decided to be a banker too. I mean, you can see from, my profile, I have a higher national diploma in banking and finance where I graduated with an upper credit, and I'm a certified banker. Now, irrespective, looking at my career journey retrospectively, more than 15 years of it has been in the L&D space. And we all know that L&D space is an aspect of HR practice that involves developing people, building and empowering human capital of any organization. So over the years, I have realized that my purpose is in availing any and every platform at my disposal to help others grow. So every opportunity I have and in my interactions with people, I always aim at one thing, which is leaving them challenged to be better versions of themselves. And you all know that for you to be a better version of yourself, you must be open to growth. And like Fola rightly said to us, and Fola was just reiterating to us the fact that growth is not easy. And you can all allude to that growth is not easy. Because it takes dedication, it takes consistency. You have to put in the work. There's nothing like shortcuts. I always tell my children, shortcuts, take it out of your vocabulary and out of your mind. You must put in the work. And of course, resilience. Last month, I was at Caleb University speaking to their graduating students, challenging them and charging them to make a positive difference. By having personal values, you must have values that drive you. Otherwise, you'll be tossed around by every wind. You must have personal values that drive you as an individual. There are some things you cannot even, you can't compromise on. There are some things. So, I was at Caleb University charging them. They are soon graduating students, speaking to them about making a positive difference by having personal values that drive them as they step out of school into the corporate world. You all know that is a different ball game out there in the corporate world. I'm a Bible teacher in my church. You can see that with all that I'm saying to you, it's almost like I'm a born teacher, if there's anything like that. So I'm a Bible study teacher in my church. And I was recently interviewed by the United Nations as a volunteer to teach English language to Bangladeshi youths as they prepare for tertiary education. So the truth is that I find joy and fulfillment contributing my quota towards making the world a better place. And this can only happen by helping anyone and everyone around me to grow. Because in doing so, I am growing. The more you teach, the more you train, you are improving, you're getting better. Because in doing so, I'm growing and I'm improving myself. And ultimately, we all crave for a better world. We all desire a better world, right? But the truth is that a better world will not happen. It takes you and I contributing. And the only way we can change the world is if we keep growing. We can only change the world by starting with the man in the mirror. And I'm going to leave you with this question. Who do you think is the man in the mirror? Thank you so much.
Great, NK. Thank you so much. Please, just one question again. I think I'm asking on behalf of many professionals who are also seated here. At any point, T, did you ever feel stuck in your growth journey? And how did you reignite your growth process, if I may ask? Thank you.
Absolutely. See, there are many reasons professionals can get stuck. It could be because of unmet expectations. Maybe promotion is not coming as expected. It could be as a result of poor work culture, an unhealthy work environment, uncordial relationships at work, and the list goes on. But as professionals, we must learn to build systems for sustained professional growth. And this involves establishing structures for continuous learning. You cannot talk about growth exponential without having that mindset of continuous learning. So you must build systems and structures for you to continue to learn. You must set goals for yourself, set smart goals for yourself. And of course, you must develop yourself. All this is supported by a growth mindset, because if you do not have a growth mindset, you cannot move forward. And of course, I found myself in situations where during the span of my career where I felt stuck. And what did I do to reignite growth? One thing I did was to go back to school. So in my former place of work, sometime I went for an interview, and it was for a managerial role, but I didn't do well at that interview. And I got a very terrible, feedback about my performance. And in fact, they even went ahead to tell me that I can never be a leader, that because I do not have, I do not have leadership skills, and that I cannot be a manager. Those were the kinds of feedback I got. And imagine if somebody gives you that kind of feedback, what it would do to you. So after the terrible interview experience and feedback I received, going back to work was no longer exciting for me. Even though I was still doing my work well, getting commendations from teams I was supporting, I still felt empty, stuck, and unhappy. So what did I do? I decided to go back to school to earn a bachelor's degree in 2017. This is me as a married woman with 3 children, with a very thriving, demanding job. I decided to go back to school, to get a BSc, because I've always had HND with several certifications and of course years of experience and exposure. So I made up my mind to go back to school in 2017. Now, just to mention that when I was going back, I had written down what I wanted to graduate with. I had written down what I wanted to achieve, with going back to school with a target to guess the target I gave myself. I gave myself a target that I would graduate with a first class. This is as a married woman with 3 children, with a very thriving, I was working in a high-performing environment. And for those of us that work in high-performing environments, you know what it means. You must work it out. You must prove that you are competent for you to remain relevant in environments like that. So going back to school was with a target to graduate with a first class. That brought some excitement, and it also challenged me. The period was tough for me because I was working and schooling. I made a lot of sacrifices. Remember when Fola was, presenting, he mentioned sacrifices. You can't talk about growth exponential without making sacrifices. I made a lot of sacrifices. I didn't have a life outside of work, school, and church. At the end of the day, I graduated with a first class in 2019 from the University of Lagos. Yes, you can actually achieve whatever you set your heart to if you remain focused, because you must remain focused. This feat opened a lot of doors and opportunities for me till today. And let me use this medium to encourage us that at this point, never give up on your dreams. We can achieve anything we set our hearts to if we stay focused, because everything is possible and anything can happen. We must shut out the noise and silence every voice that tries to tell us otherwise, because the sky is not actually the limit. We are, if we allow the limits within to fester and to thrive. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Mr. Charles Adekunle, please, could you summarize your growth philosophy in one sentence? We would like to hear you speak to that. What could that be? If you would summarize your growth philosophy in one sentence, what would that be? Mr. Charles, sir.
Sorry, you're muted, please.
Okay, can you speak now?
All right. Thank you very much,
Thank you,
amazing
sir.
NK, for very inspiring, or shall I say, a rousing speech. You know, that's very, very moving. All right. So going to your question, okay. How can I summarize growth? Right? Was that the question?
Yes. If you had to summarize your growth philosophy in one sentence, what would that be?
All right. Possible. So I would say that my growth journey has been that of resilience, you know, and commitment to my goals, right? Shutting out outside noise and real focus, laser focus on my goal, right? Because how can you grow if you are not focused? How can you grow if you don't have a mindset that will help you achieve your goals? All right. So you have to stay resilient. You have to stay committed. You have to surmount every challenges that comes your way. Okay. And that summarizes my goal journey. I mean, I'm focused. I'm resilient. Nothing. I don't say. I mean, it's me. Never give up. Right. No matter how huge or how high the challenges of obstacles are, I believe that there is a way around it. You know, if I focus on it, you know, even if I had to leave it for a while, you know, and let my subconscious work on it and work out the ways. Okay, there is always a way when there's a will. Okay, and that summarizes my journey so far.
Amazing. There's always a way when there's a will. So, sir, please, sir, quickly, could you share a personal or organizational experience where systems has helped you multiply results beyond what effort alone can achieve?
All right. System can indeed amplify results beyond what manual effort alone can achieve for you. All right. I remember implementing a CRM for the marketing teams that I once lead to track follow-ups and track conversations with the lead at the time. We automated all these processes, and the system allowed us to scale our outreach, you know, without proportionally increasing our effort, leading to a sustained growth in sales and customer service engagement. All right. So system can indeed amplify your results beyond what the manual effort, you know, can give you.
Amazing and interesting. So we have to have systems in place at every point T. That's what we're saying, sir.
Correct.
Great to learn. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, may I quickly just move to the next? Chinwe Obianyo, please permit if I'm not pronouncing well. Chinwe Obianyo, yes, we have a question for you, please. Could you please share with us a defining struggle that reshaped your growth and leadership mindset? We are wanting to hear your defining struggle a defining struggle that reshapes your growth and leadership mindset. Chinwe Obianyo. So any other, as we engage this the speaker, we would also like to hear contributions from the other panelists, okay? Because it would just help to build a very full conversation or rounded conversation. So as Chinwe speaks to this, we would entertain or love to entertain comments or further contributions from the other panelists. Thank you, Chinwe. Over to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that question. And good morning, everyone. Still morning. Good to be here. Happy to be here. So you've asked for a defining moment in my career that has helped to shape that, right? So early in my career, I was placed in charge of a team, during a period of organizational restructuring in that team. So I started leading a team in about my third year, 3 to 4 years of experience, like growing a large team, like deploying new teams, right? The growth of that organization in terms of every novel idea stayed with my team, right? So I was to write a the strategy document every year, present to management. If it was approved, I'll start deploying a new team. And this was a great challenge because, in fact, I had declined the role when I was placed in that role because I was an individual member, I was an individual contributor of a team, and I was hired by this organization to replicate what I've done, but now not actually replicating it myself, but replicating it in others, because at some point in your career, what is now being measured is not your individual contribution. It becomes you now in replicating yourself in others, like leading yourself and leading others, because you're now responsible for others. And I declined because I wanted to do my thing my own way. Give me a task, I bring it, I deliver that task in record time. But then now telling me to manage other people. It was really a struggle for me at the time, until my line manager now sat me down and then now spoke to me. You can't keep being in that place. You can't keep being an individual contributor. You have to grow out of that, that shell or that space and start doing something else. And at this point, this organization has laid off about 85% of the staff. We are brought in from different other organizations to start growing a new team. Morale was very low. Communication was something that was fractured at this time, and trust had been eroded with the people that were still there. So I felt the pressure to, fix everything quickly, and I was the one deploying new teams, right? So every Q2 of every year, my KPI was to deploy a new team, start building a new team. And by my 40 in that organization, I had built a 14-man team, 4 units, but I didn't do it alone. So I learned, it was a turning point for me to understand that there was vulnerability in perfection. Earlier, I thought it was about perfection. I was trying to do everything to fit into a space that I've created for myself. This is the way to do it. But then at those defining moments, like I was asked to lead a team that I had to design a product paper for a product I haven't done before. I had to build new products, right? So I gathered the team and I said, I don't have all the answers, but I'm committed to finding those answers with you. That was a very vulnerable moment, and that was how we started growing. We'll get ourselves in a room. I remember that room was, our MD nicknamed that room the situation room. It was later I found out, because I had to ask him, what does situation room mean? I understood that it was a room in the White House in the US where they're going to brainstorm, because that's what we did in that room. So that moment, right, shifted everything for me. It invited collaboration, it restored trust, and empowered other people to also step up. And what I learned was that, in leadership, if you have to be vulnerable, please be. If you need collaboration, please seek it. It's just for you to be very authentic. Growth happens when we lean into discomfort and not away from it. The true influence is built on trust, not, for you to control. So that moment of transparency, and also trying to lead with empathy, the courage that I gathered to do it, and also being able to deliver is a moment that I'll never forget. That, each time I speak about, my career in terms of growth, in terms of the journey, this particular incident that happened, in fact, it happened over the years, because it was about 3 years, right, that I had to do that, deploying and building new teams. Or those moments, they were defining for me. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, ma'am. So please, ma'am, if you would summarize your growth philosophy in one sentence, what would that be?
In one sentence is hard, but let me try. So I'll say that true growth begins when you stop shrinking to fit and start expanding to live with authenticity. So it's not just about you, trying to fit in somewhere. I remember growing up, my mom used to call me an outlier. I didn't know what that meant until I started hearing it from other people, right? That I actually don't try to fit into somewhere. If I have to stand out, then stand out. Do it differently, right? You might have the right answers. You mustn't actually be, within that space that you're trying to confine yourself. So true growth begins when you stop shrinking to fit and you start expanding to lead with authenticity. Thank you.
Wow, that's so powerful and striking. When you stop shrinking and when you start, please could you conclude the lines again? I was taking notes.
When you start expanding to lead with authenticity.
Hallelujah. Please permit that I said that. I'm so inspired by that. Thank you so much, Chinwe Obianyo. We're running to Mr. Daniel Felomu. Yes, that's a highlight from this conversation. I'm going to have this on my status. I'm not joking. That's a very powerful one. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are greatly inspired by your story. Okay, so Mr. Daniel Falemu, can we please know or understand one of your biggest misconceptions, one of the biggest misconceptions people have had about success or reward in the corporate world? So a lot of us here, of course, belong to one organization or the other. And the truth is sometimes it looks as though, can a salary job actually give you the success or the reward you expect? So please, I would like you to shed light or shed light here. What could be one of the biggest misconceptions people have about success or reward in the corporate world, and how do we turn this around? Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Confirm you can hear me, please.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Dan.
Yeah. One common misconception is within the corporate sector is believing that for you to go far is a factor of who you know. It's a big misconception, and I would use my relationship with Fola, for instance. And he's a principled person, and his principles, I have applied it. And before I met him, I've been applied those principles, right? And those principles are the builders that form who we are or what I am today. And I'll give an instance. I recall currently I work with Stanbic Bank and I'm the team lead for collection and benefit. I recall year 2013. I graduated in 2011. Year 2013, I tried to apply for graduate training in Stanbic Bank then, and I recall that I was not given the privilege to even pass through where the security were. Why? Because I didn't meet the minimum criteria at that time for that, for that graduate program, graduate training internship program, right? So 12 years fast forward, I'm in the same organization without knowing anybody, right? All boiling down to preparation, right? Keep building yourself. We find ourselves in a age where data is powerful. Data is power, right? And you need to keep building capacity. It's not a factor of who you know. I have a mantra, and that mantra is that nothing shall be impossible. And how do I imply by that mantra? It means that as long as I keep building, as long as I stay focused, as long as I keep growing in resilience, nothing will be impossible for me to achieve. The only thing that can deny me is time. The only thing that can deny me is time. So the earlier we begin to live with the reality of all things are possible, we start a growth mindset, the better for us. Thank you.
Oh, amazing. I remember that I used to have a very senior mentor or senior friend who would always say that when preparation meets opportunity, that favor is born. So I got this very clearly from your own experience. As long as we keep learning and evolving and growing, certainly the rewards would certainly come. Thank you so much, sir.
Let me also try to come in there because
okay,
it's just like in the way of balancing your preparation with intentionality of building a network, okay? Because whether you like it or not, you will always need a person to actually like move forward in life. But one thing is there's a deciding factor around that. Number one, I am building myself. I am making a lot of preparation, mastering my art, craft, let me put it that way. At the same time, I am intentional building network. Okay? I am intentional building my network and showcasing myself in such a way that the network I found myself, they see what I do, the value I bring, and from there, I'm being able to multiply value as such. So most of the time, people think that they will be rewarded for doing nothing. That is where I'm going to. Okay, nobody's going to reward you for doing nothing except probably you are in civil service and you know how to run an errand, and people can reward you for running an errand for them. But if you really want to go beyond that issue of civil service or this politicking of the thing, you want your value to be multiplied to the extent that you can be rewarded for it. And I'll give you some example. Last month, that thing happened to me like for the first time most times I could be getting some speaking engagement, Fola come here, Fola come there. It may not be like consistent like that. Or something I was last 1 or 2 months ago, I just see so many one just line up for me like that. And I asked them, how did you get to know me? They said, so person recommend you. There is even one I will be going next week. The person said that one of my lecturers said they must put me there. And this is a program that I will be sitting where governor will be sitting. Governor of Oyo State will be sitting. I will be sitting around that place. And somebody has to make that kind of recommendation. I don't expect it. Apart from that, another person make such a recommendation. Another person make another recommendations. So those things happen because one, I have been preparing. I have been adding value to myself. Then I have been showcasing myself to my network. Then from there, people have this level of they trust what I can bring anytime they call me for what they think I could do for them. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to say. So reward is attached to value, and the value you get from hard work, from growth, from mastery, and from your network. So let me put it that way, so that you not think that you don't need people, or you don't have to like showcase yourself. Yeah, you have to do that. And when you are preparing yourself, you are working with people, then you are also practicing your art. Thank you, Nid.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. I'd like to pick a question that has been asked here. Thank you for furthering that conversation and making it more clear. I'd like to pick a question that has been asked here, and any of us on the panel, could please speak to this. So this person is asking, he or she is asking, he says, how do I master self-leadership? I could pull it out from where Mr. Fola has stopped, right? Just to further the conversation. It says, how do I master self-leadership, doing things even when I don't feel like, and other areas?
Please, let's direct it to Omoye.
Okay, great. Thank you. Omoye, please go on. Thank you, ma'am.
Fola, nice one. Good afternoon, everyone. It's quite an interesting conversation so far. Well done, Fola, for that insightful keynote speech, and our panel members have done justice so far. Self-leadership, I think one of the concept that explains self-leadership is a concept of emotional intelligence. For you to be able to lead self, you must be able to know yourself. So self-leadership comes from self-awareness. And I think there are two parts, right? Self-awareness and self-management. when you say self-awareness, the understanding of yourself, your triggers, your emotions, your strengths, your weaknesses. You are a master of yourself to the extent that if anyone says something about you that is not true, you would say, I know who I am. And it comes from deliberate action. Our panel members have been talking about intentional steps, deliberate steps. It's not something that comes like this. It is a journey. Deliberately knowing who you are. You understand what your purpose in life is. You understand what you need to do. You are reaching out to mentors. You're reaching out to coaches. Sponsors are identifying you. You're taking in the steps. NK talked about the appetite for learning. So, but these things come because you understand yourself. You're self-aware. So with this understanding, you then manage thyself. So self-management comes from you have this knowledge about yourself. You know what you do. You know what you need to do to perhaps achieve something or be a better version of yourself. You are now applying what you've learned, what you've known about yourself. You're deliberately attending events like this. You're being intentional about your growth journey. Then you are leading thyself. And with that, you're now sharing that knowledge of yourself and the application of yourself to other people. Because I don't think you can say leadership without impact, without influence, right? So leadership comes when you're able to influence people to get things done, or you're able to motivate a set of persons or group of persons to get things done. So with what you know about yourself, which is self-awareness, self-management, by applying the knowledge of what you know about yourself, and then self-leadership, which is you're now influencing people, which in a way comes to what we're talking about today, which is purpose, which is impact, and then there's growth as well. So first off, for you to say self-leadership, you need to start by doing the intentional work of self-awareness. And there are a lot of steps in this bucket, but it has to be intentional. And then you manage yourself by applying what you know, and then you're leading yourself to the extent that you're influencing other people. Thank you.
Oh, amazing. Thank you, ma'am. So I have a question for you, ma'am. Please, we would like to hear from, or have you share from your wealth of wisdom and experience. You have worked in talent management. So how would you define competence, and how does it multiply impact?
Thank you. Okay. So for me, competence is in twofold. And when we talk about competence, what comes to mind is the technical ability, but it transcends that. In HR, there's something we call KSA, knowledge, skills, and ability. So competence is the quality of knowledge, of skills, and ability. And like I said, it transcends technical ability. There's also behavioral ability. So you're looking at emotional intelligence, which I mentioned not quite long, your level of adaptability, your resilience, your capacity to learn and grow. So in talent management, there's this phrase we'd say, or there's this saying that we hire for potential, we train for talent, or something in that, meaning that we're not just looking at your technical ability, we're looking at your ability to integrate into our work environment, right? We're looking at your ability to work with other people. We're looking at your ability to solve problems aside the technical ability that you have. We're looking at your ability to come in, come up with initiative and make the environment better than you left it. And how does that multiplies impact, or impact on impact? Allow me if I could use that, is that you are now linking competence to purpose. You are now leading competence to growth. You are now linking competence to a wide range of systemic conversation. I would give an example. So if I hire a competent person, somebody who ticks my box technically and behaviorally into my environment, into my workspace, that competent person not just get the work done, right? The person not just carry out tasks effectively and efficiently. This person is also influencing people, mentoring other people, solving problems, and influencing other people to be better. So that's how competence multiplies impact. When competence is linked to purpose, is linked to leadership, is linked to influence, is linked to motivation. And organizations can leverage that for exponential growth. given that we're having that conversation today, by ensuring that there's a system of feedback. And we have our gurus, Lelandi, on the call, NK and Fola. And Fola is doing an amazing job with us at Bank to ensure that when we identify these talents, when we identify these competent people, we're systemic about how we are managing them and the employee life cycle in organization, such that there is influence on the other people or the other talent in the work environment. So that is how you define competence in my space as talent management, which transcends technical ability. You also need to infuse behavioral ability. And competence multiplies impact because you link that to purpose. And a competent person does things consistently. I think Fola talked about consistency, effort and consistency, which brings impact into the environment. And as a talent manager, we should also have high for talents, for potentials. Sometimes an individual might not look it, but that's why you're a talent manager, to be able to unearth that ability, what that person has, and creating an enabling environment where that person is able to thrive and also influence other people. Thank you. And there's this saying I have that be a talent, and it's not enough to be a talented and competent person. You have to do good work. You have to do quality work and doing it consistently, because at the end of the day, the gains are yours for keeps. Yes, the organization will benefit. You'll be able to, for us in banking, we'll talk about PBT, our revenue, profit, and all that. But ultimately, as an individual, the gains are yours. You're on this call today. You're seeing seasoned people on the call. At the end of the day, you can network with them. And again, somebody talked about delayed promotion, which you could feel that you're stuck in your organization or in your career. But the skills you've garnered over time stays with you, such that when the opportunity comes, like NK mentioned when she was interviewing for an opportunity, she's able to deliver on, she's able to share what she has learned. So don't feel discouraged if you're a talent where you are and you think you're stuck. Apply these principles. At the end of the day, the gains are yours for keeps. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Omoye. That was fantastic. You know, Omoye is somebody I met and I say, yeah, this is my kind. We get the job done fast and we deliver high quality work output. Yeah, I could tell you, you know, one of the person I'm proud of when I got to where I am currently. You know, I am always being blessed. Like I usually tell Amazing NK that I say I am blessed working with great people. So, and just to add to what Omoye actually said, before I introduce somebody that just joined us now, who happens to be my younger brother. I know some of you don't know my younger brother. You're going to know him today. Okay. So, see, no matter what happened to you as a talent, you must have this mindset that, number one, I will keep delivering high quality work output. Whether you are rewarded for it, whether you are not rewarded for it. Because that is whom you are. Excellence is just whom you are. Yes, you're going to feel discouraged at the time that you're going to feel that, oh, this thing is not looking like it. But whom you are is that you just need to deliver high quality work output. The second thing you must keep doing is keep outsmarting yourself. Keep outsmarting yourself simply means that invest in yourself in such a way that great value can come out of you, which means in terms of skills, in terms of behavioral competencies, technical competencies, keep investing in yourself. Okay? When you keep doing all of these things, don't worry. Where you are now, you are not being rewarded well, or nobody pay attention. Don't worry. Something will happen, and the whole wide world will reward you for that. So let me quickly move ahead, and where we were going on, my immediate younger brother just came in and is part of the panelists, and that is person of Smidele Akinlose. He is the CEO and MD of The Liberty. Hello, Smidele, would like to talk to us? I know you were there. Hello, Simi, are you there? I don't know whether you are muted.
Hello. Hello, I can hear everyone. I'm not sure if you can hear me, please.
Yes, we can hear you. I know I didn't introduce you. Simidele was born after me. You know, we sucked the same breast from the same mother. And as a matter of fact, our growth journey was so fantastic, But I want him to share that. Over to you, Simidele.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all the panelists, and it's a pleasure to join everyone here today. And I, like my brother said earlier, I'm the immediate younger brother to him, and he has been a role model, and we are very proud of him. He has contributed immensely to the position we are today, and he's been doing a great job, really, right before he starts the career in is pursuing now. He has been a great leader to every one of us at home, and he has shaped our perspective about life, what we are doing presently, and he has contributed positively. And thank you again for having me here today. Sorry, I had to join late because as I'm speaking, I'm working. Just get a short break so I could be part of the program. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. Welcome, Simi. So over to you, Nini. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, sir, Mr. Simidele. I was just smiling whilst you were introduced. We're glad to having you joining us, sir. So please, sir, we would like you to just share your entrepreneurial path with us. Every entrepreneur has one story, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Entrepreneurship to me is what I've started right from my secondary school. At that time I did not. I won't say I could figure out what I was doing really at that time, but I knew I was called up for something different really, because when we were in secondary school, you happen to be one of the A grade students. You score A's, and a lot of people were saying, you are going to do medicine, it's going to do this and that, and we wanted to do all of that. And one way or the other, I found myself in the university, Obafemi Awolowo University. And while we were in the hostel, I realized I just have to do something different. Everything about me is just creating something. If any little idea, I will have to ask, what if we do this and do this? We can employ one or two people with this, and everyone around will say, this guy, one day we have this. We are not there yet, but it's a journey we started about 13 years ago, and we have been able to, in our own little way, we have been able to create something that's been able to provide job for quite a number of people, and we are growing. We are still growing, and it's really fulfilling to see that what you've been able to, that little idea that came to you some time back, you have been able to grow it. Seeing how far you've gone is brings a kind of fulfillment. And looking at Nigeria, our ecosystem where we operate business really is not supportive. And apart from the economic issue we have in the country, when it comes to manpower and people's mindset to work in Nigeria is really very bad. And our culture, our value system is really not encouraging when it comes to having a business in Nigeria, to say. And that is one thing I would like to point out. That has been one challenge I've been confronting as an entrepreneur in Nigeria. But apart from that, it's fulfilling to me really, looking at what we have been able to achieve. But I'll categorize myself as a small-scale business owner that is still growing really. And if you look at the challenge in Nigeria, people's attitude, people's belief does not support the growth of small-scale in Nigeria. And that is why I would say most businesses in Nigeria end up dying, because the people you employ that is working with you, they hardly support the vision. They do everything to sabotage what you do most times. But few people will support you, but a larger population of the people we have around us, they are not really supporting. And that is, I don't, let me just stop there. But if you have any other question, any area you want me to.
Yes. We're going to further this a little more, Mr. Sibidele. Thank you so much. Being an entrepreneur in Nigeria is not an easy one. It requires a lot. That's the truth. So with yours, what are the habits or disciplines that you have anchored through your growth, through the journey, while even though it is filled with so much uncertainties? Because some of us want to hear this and we want to be refired in our pursuits. Thank you, sir.
Okay, when it comes to entrepreneurship in Nigeria, it starts with taking responsibility. Firstly, identify what you want to do. I want to do A and B. I want to serve a particular set of people. This is the value I'm bringing to the table, and knowing how to go about it and taking responsibility for what you want to do. Because just like I said earlier, the condition around us is going to discourage you, really. The economic condition, the staffing, a lot of things is going to discourage you. But it takes a kind of a determination that I am going to do this. I am cut up for this. I am made for this, and it's going to work. So putting in all the effort is what really matters, and taking the decision that you are going to get it done is what really matters. And because there is going to be challenges, there's going to be a lot of challenges, a lot of discouragement from people around you, from every area you are going to face opposition, and like it's not going to be a roller coaster stuff that you are going to just start and everything will be rosy for you. No. It's rosy for some people, I'm not sure, but for me it's not something that is going to be rosy really starting up in Nigeria as an entrepreneur. But with determination, strong determination and focus and resilience, and knowing what it's like we say this, picturing what the future will be like from the start and taking responsibility. That is what will help you to go far, irrespective of any challenges you might face at the initial stage. The motivation will be that greater goal, that future goal you've set for yourself, that future you are seeing in the business. That is what is going to really help you to stand strong, irrespective of any challenge you face as an entrepreneur in Nigeria.
Fantastically. Sorry, let me quickly come in.
Okay.
Thank you so
much. Sir.
The reason why we are speaking to entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship actually requires is a very great growth journey that we expect every one of us on this call to want to be part of. Okay. And personally, I witnessed him start. He started, entrepreneurship journey while he's not even secondary school. Should I say even primary school? Everything about him is about he's been an entrepreneur right from, I could actually say, from primary school. But there are a lot of challenges in that arena, like he mentioned. And by the time you two want to go into entrepreneurship, you need to get yourself, your mind around this. All you need to do is just be determined, pull the hard work there, develop yourself to get things done. I love the word that he said, that is fulfilling, because you might want to wake up one day and say, I want to stop this. I've seen people that stop. When you read, what do you call it now? Is it Economic Forum? Their report, about 77% of small scale or even SMEs, they close their business within 2 years. They close it. And the recent World Bank, report on entrepreneur, I'm working on entrepreneurship on my project. these people have lost a lot of money, especially the fintechs and all the likes like that, because of what we are actually talking about right now. So it's going to be a lot, but what do? Just put your mind, put the effort, and be determined that I am going to succeed. No matter what it takes, I will succeed. Thank you. Onini.
Thank you so much. Be determined and make up your mind that no matter what, I will succeed and I'm going to succeed. It's part of the growth process. Thank you so much, sir, for bringing that addition. We would love to furthermore. Thank you, Mr. Simidele. Thank you for making our time for us. Thank you so much. We trust that you're still on the call. We would have to come back and engage you. So I have a question for NK. Yes. You fired us when you had your time with us. Please, ma'am, we have a lot of gifted people on this call. That's the truth. If you would advise someone who is gifted, but not yet grounded in purpose, because you spoke to that a great deal, what would you tell them about aligning their talent with meaning? If you would advise someone who is gifted, but not yet grounded in purpose, what would you tell that one about aligning their talent with meaning?
Thank you so much, Voke, for that question.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Aligning one's talent with meaning involves a deliberate process of understanding your personal strengths. There's practically no panel member that has spoken without talking about your personal strengths, who you are, self-awareness, self-management, and all that, right? So aligning one's talent with meaning involves a deliberate process of you need to understand your personal strengths, your values, and then you have to strategically position yourself in roles and environments where these attributes can be fully utilized for you to achieve a sense of purpose and for you to contribute to something larger than yourself. Because if you talk about purpose, you're actually talking about who are you? What's that natural gifting? That when you pull it up, you're actually impacting people, you are making a difference. So your purpose gives meaning to your life because it is the highest and truest expression of your authentic self. Your purpose is you. It is not about any other person. It is you. Who am I? Where do I thrive? What do I like to do and all that? Your purpose unleashes your greatness and is also a medium to serve others. When we talk about purpose, is also a way of serving others. So for example, for me, my purpose is to make a positive difference in the life of anyone within my circle of influence. As if I come in touch or across with you at any touch point or through any channel, how do I leave you, put something to your life? How do I put value to your life, right? So in the place of my purpose, I teach in church. I'm a Bible study teacher. That's one way I'm able to apply my purpose, right? In the place of my purpose, I train in corporate world. I love to impact lives. I love to make a difference. I love to transfer knowledge. That is my purpose. So when I train in corporate world, it gives me fulfillment. I find joy. In the place of my purpose, I mentor and coach young adults, challenging them to be the best version. And it's not just young adults. Wherever you are, you cannot stay with me or interact with me. I will want to find out. Just engaging with you, I really know where you are headed. And if I see that you're not, the route you're going to or going through, I may not be leading you in the right, I will speak up. Like I'm dealing with my teenage son now. And every day I keep speaking to him that what I will see sitting down, even if he stands on the table, he will not see because of experience, right? So I mentor and coach young adults or anybody around me, challenging people to be the best versions of themselves. By having values, you must have, you can't talk about purpose and not have values. What are the values that drive you as a person? For me, the values that drive me as a person is in the acronym PRIZE: passion, relationship, integrity, can do. Empathy, then of course being dependable. You must have values that drive you. Then in the place of my purpose, women in my church, charging them to go beyond the current position. I challenge them. You can be more. You can be more, even if you say, now I'm a full-time housewife. Yes, even in the full-time housewife, that's in your current situation or reality as a full-time housewife, what are you learning? what is your plan? What goal do you have for yourself? Where do you see yourself 2-3 years from now, so that you can actually start working towards that goal, even though currently you're a full-time housewife? So in the course of my purpose, I avail platforms like this platform now to share my life story. Because when I share and tell people about who I am, where I came from, my journey, it's also a way of motivating and encouraging, others to stay focused on their goals while following and trusting the leading of God. I can go on and on, but the fact remains that identifying your talent is vital to clarify your core values. Right? You aligning your talent with meaning is really about creating a symbiotic relationship where an individual, those your natural abilities and your deepest values are leveraged to achieve success and fulfillment. I started by sharing a story about who I am. How even as a child, I used to say I'll be a teacher. Along the way, I shifted. I wanted to be a banker. But look at where I am today. Whether I like it or not, clearly, that teaching thing, because if you're talking about being a trainer, being a speaker, you are teaching. So clearly this is my talent. This is what God wants me to do. So how am I now using that talent to make the world a better place, to impact and to add value everywhere? So this is me and this is my purpose. And I hope that the way I've explained it, somebody on this call that is peradventure also at the at this current state where you are like, what is my purpose? Who am I? You can understand that your purpose is tied to your talent, is tied to your core values, who you are, that thing that gives you fulfillment, that thing that you can actually do for free without even paying for it, and you still find fulfillment. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much, Madam Chair. Always fireful when you come to speak to us. So this conversation will be forwarded by Mr. Charles Adekunle. So just a quote quickly from John Maxwell, who says that people lose their way when they lose their why, and NK just spoke to purpose and aligning it with talent. So, sir, how can professionals rediscover their why? Because we once had a strong pursuit or purpose for something, and somehow we have lost it in the process, maybe by the trying times, by discouragement, by being stuck somewhere. So how can we rediscover our why, right? How can we rediscover our why when we start feeling stuck, or when work feels mechanical, or when we feel stuck somehow in our growth journey or process? Yes. Thank you, sir. Mr. Charles, please, you can come on now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Odini. That's a very good question. I think I used to tell people, myself, that many professionals these days, fails to align their purpose with what they do for their organizations. There's, as a professional, your organizations will definitely have a goal, all right? And as a professional, you must align your goal, your purpose with your organizational goal, all right? So if you fail to align your goals with your organization's goal, your organization moves faster and leaves you behind. And then you struggle, okay? In other words, you have helped that particular organization to achieve their why, all right? Why you are left behind, then you begin to struggle. So, and most times it's because some people find it difficult to realize what their purpose is. They just jump into the work environment and begin to do task and task over task over task over the task, neglecting their self, all right? So every professional must come to terms with first identifying who am I. Then when you find out your why, when you find out your purpose, okay, and then you now look for an organization that aligns with your goal so that you can marry it. Some people will find ourselves in organizations that does not align with our purpose, and then we struggle for a while and we stumble on it again. Okay, but I will say that find your purpose in your organization. Find a way to align your purpose with your organization goal, your organizational goal. Okay, and then you begin to achieve both your organizational goal and your personal goal. As you achieve for organization, achieve for yourself, then the two of you will move together. You grow together. Okay, and then when you perhaps leave the organization, you will not feel stuck. You will not feel empty, because while helping the organization to achieve their goals, you have also found yourself. You have also sharpened your teeth. Okay, and then you come out and you are better than when you started, because you would definitely have something to move forward with, something to do. Okay, so people and everyone on this call, right? I know we're all working in one place or the other. There is a place where you need to sat yourself down and find yourself. Okay, and then it's possible that to make ends meet, you find yourself doing a job. All right, that's okay. Bills put pressures on people. It's fine so that you can get by, but do not stay there. Do not do not leave to pay bills. All right, there's something more far important than waking up to do a job to pay your bill. Find your purpose. Okay, align your purpose with the work that you do. All right. For instance, let me give an instance for you. I used to work with a consulting firm, and over time, I know that imparting people gives me joy. Right. Imparting people gives me joy, and then I found myself in a consulting firm that does trainings. I came in as a blue on, so to speak, and I begin to learn. And I begin to marry my organization goals with my personal goals, which is to impact people, to encourage people, to help people do their work better, and then things began to change, and I began to grow, and I began to find fulfillment. I began to find opportunity to express who I am. Okay, and then I had to step away. Guess what I'm doing? I'm back into a consulting line, right? Adding value to people, helping people to do their work better, helping people to achieve more with little and do more with their job. Okay, find your purpose.
Amazing.
Find your purpose. Align it with your organizational goal, and then you'll never be stuck.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adekunle. Find your purpose, align it with your organizational goal, and you can never be stuck. Thank you so much. That was a very inspiring one. I believe that those of us who are already feeling weird out, we can be refired by what Mr. Adekunle has shared. Please, Chinwe Obianyo, there's a question I have for you. Please, I want to encourage everyone on the call. Kindly leave your questions on the chat box. We would like to take them quickly before we bring the session to a close. Please, we're waiting to having them there. So this question is directed to you, Chinwe. What would you say to someone who feels they have outgrown their current level? So we are building the conversation from where NK began to speak from to Mr. Adekunle, and then this is to you. What would you say to someone who feels they have outgrown their current level, but don't know how to step into the next phase, right? I believe this answer will be inspiring someone on this call this afternoon. So please, let's have you, Chinwe Obianyo. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. Please confirm that you can still hear me.
Yes, I can hear you very well. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So for someone that feels that he or she has outgrown its level, interesting. It means that the capacity, right, has expanded beyond the current container, if I have to say that. That's growth, really. But I will also say that before I also even dissect what the person has to do, in terms of growing, that if you think that you've outgrown where you are, right, it's also to define clearly what next looks like for you, right? Do you understand where you are right now? Like if you've done that analysis of where you are before you even say that you've outgrown yourself, or you've outgrown that space, sorry, where you are currently. Have you done that analysis? Define, because before then, you defined your purpose. There was a reason why you were there. And do not forget that we can never stop learning. In the words of Albert Einstein, he said, when we stop learning, we start dying, right? And also Alvin Toffler that said that the illiterates of the 21st century, they are not those that cannot read or write, but those that have refused to unlearn, relearn, and learn. Meaning that learning is continuous, like we will learn until we enter our graves. We'll keep learning, right? So when someone says, I've outgrown where I am, but maybe I don't know how to navigate it, it's very important to also understand, where you are, that you even understand the purpose, the passion that is driving, because when you define your purpose, the passion drives you. The passion is like a force, it's like a moving force that drives you to do whatever you define for yourself, the goals that you're trying to achieve. So where are you right now? Have you even done that analysis to understand that you've outgrown that place in the first instance, right? What does next look like for you? Sorry. What kind of impact do you want to make? What kind of skills and experiences will you need for you to get to that place that you want to get to? What kind of, environment to even bring out your best after analyzing your current state or your current identity? Then you can also start before you even feel ready, right? If you're thinking that you don't have all the things, all the skills, and you don't even know how to navigate it, you can start before you feel ready. Don't wait till, you're called onto the red carpet or something. Start from where you are, from that small space that you're feeling that you've outgrown. Build the relationships, right, that will help you. Who is in your space? Who is in your network? Who are those people that you're looking up to? Who are those people that are inspiring you? Who are those people that you're following that will also kind of inspire you to get to where you want to be, right? Because they are like that's your circle of influence, and you're kind of expanding out of that circle for you to get to where you are, right? But if you're feeling that you've outgrown where you are currently, it means that you're ready to get to the next phase. The next phase is even waiting for you, right? And it wouldn't just need your permission to get there. You need to get there by yourself. You need to get out of your comfort zone to do those things that will take you there. So people will lose their way when they lose their why. They've forgotten the purpose, or they've redefined the purpose, right? Or maybe they feel they are no longer on the trajectory to get them to that purpose, right? Or sometimes they redefine and they have different ways to get to where they are. Because there is a saying in my place that if you don't even know where you're going, like everywhere will look like the way for you, because you have to know the end from the beginning. You have defined it, and this will lead you to where you're going. So reconnect with your why. What is your why? Are you reconnecting with your why? Mm-hmm. Because your purpose is your compass, and your passion will drive you in anything that you're doing, right? If you define a goal for yourself, like if I take myself for example, everything that I've done, maybe for the past 5, 6, 10 years, I calculated it, I defined it. If I get to somewhere and that place is not looking like it's the way to the place, I move, I get to somewhere else to help me to achieve that goal. And very important when you write it down, because sometimes when you don't write it down, you might lose the essence. You write it down, you speak about it, and let it guide your decision. Then practice self-awareness. If you're also not self-aware, you might not also know whether you're even getting to the right place or not. There was a question that you directed to Omoye when you asked about, something that had to do with, someone asked a question about self-motivation. If you're not self-aware, because self-awareness, the first tenet of emotional intelligence, right? If you're not self-aware, you won't even know how to manage yourself. You have to be self-aware, understand your strengths, understand your areas of weaknesses, areas of improvement, and know how to manage yourself. before you now start learning the social skills for you to be able to manage others. So you have to practice self-awareness. What energizes you? What drains you? What makes you be yourself and get to where you want yourself to be? Communicate in an authentic manner and choose the growth that aligns with your path, that aligns with your purpose. Seek the roles, the projects, the mentor, like Fola said earlier. The mentor, people that you want them to mentor you or coach you, are they in alignment with the purpose that you define for yourself? And then you find your people, the people that will, like I said earlier, the network, your colleagues, the community. Where are you? Who is in your space? Who is in your network? Because those people are the people that will also help you. In terms of thinking, staying there with like minds, networking with the like minds, right? And you redefine your success. You're already on your way to get there if you get all of these things right. Thank you so much. I'd love to
thank you so much, Chinwe. Kai, I can feel the passion. I can feel the drive to impact. Kai, we are honored having you all. So Daniel will build this further from where Chinwe has left it. So how can professionals, Mr. Daniel, create an internal reward system to stay motivated when the external rewards are delayed? Very important for us to hear.
Can you take that question again?
Yes. So Mr. Daniel was saying, how can professionals create an internal reward system to stay motivated when external rewards are delayed? You see that we have been building a conversation right from NK to this time. Thank you.
Brilliant. The first thing to understand is that you need to know what the organization's philosophy is and how you can harness of the philosophy, right? There are organizations that no matter how giant your stride is, no matter how giant your potentialities are, you cannot get the best of reward from the organization. So it's imperative for you to read the philosophy, the compensation philosophy of the organization. So for a professional or for an employee to be able to harness internal compensation, what they call it, compensation philosophy, the appropriate thing that is required of you as a professional is know your onions, right? You need to know where your talents matter. I recall Fola made mention of something that was very, very peculiar to what I operate in, which is it made mention of, are you engaged in activity-driven endeavors, or are you engaged in strategic endeavors? And it's very vital for us all to know this as professionals. It's very vital because there's a distinct distinction between you carrying out an activity and you contributing significantly through strategy. The only way you can earn the spot at the table is through strategy. How do you contribute to the top, right? And trust me, if you have value and if you're a person of value and you have your values and you know your onions, you'll be recognized. You won't have to force it. So in conclusion, you have to know what the compensation philosophy of an organization is. One, you need to be able to know distinguish the difference between what is an activity and what is a strategic driven endeavor. There's something one of my mentors used to call it bucket list. You know what? You need to know what your bucket list and what are your hot plates and what are those endeavors that look as though, yes, they are operational, but they are not strategic. So the moment you can distinguish between these two, you will know where you need to channel your energy, and which will ultimately determine the kind of reward you will get in return. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. Thank you for sharing that thought.
So, Odi, let me quickly add to that. Okay,
beautiful. Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
You need to also define your worth. Okay? I'm not talking about your worth in terms of what you want to get from that organization. Okay? You need to define your worth. Leverage your network. Because a time will come in your life, you might be getting money or some high level of reward, not just from the organization that you actually work with, but from your network, probably like weekend things, people calling you for other things, in such a way that you can be motivated when colleagues, your network they identify what you are doing, they recognize what you are doing, and at a particular day they can begin to reward what you are doing, not necessarily from the organization that you are. I'll give you some example. You will realize that when they were reading the profile of Omoye, you will see the award she has gotten. When they were reading the profile of Amazing NK, reading the profile of Shinwei, reading everyone here profile here, you will see what they have done. And I won't lie to you, those things are beyond what organizations can offer. Okay? Personally now, being here like this today, doing what we are doing together like this, oh my God, is beyond what organization can give to me. You could hear when Simidele was talking, he said it was rewarding, despite the fact that there were challenges. Okay, despite the fact that there were challenges, he said it was rewarding. So those are part of the thing you also need to think of. And when you look at what Daniel rightly said there, activities and your bucket, the bucket which has to do with the strategic intent of that organization. You know, you are happy when you contribute significantly to an organization. Yes, the money may not be there, they're not paying you or any other thing. But by the time you even leave the organization, you can tell them, go and see S, Y, and Z. Okay. When I told Amazing NK yesterday, I wanted to go to the CIBN. I needed to see the area manager, and we learned that their director was around. I was very happy yesterday when we were there. And, you know, we start talking then. By the time I was coming back, I actually I just entered the academy. Everybody was so happy. I was very happy. And by the time you get there, you can see what you have done in your Amazing NK. You can't, you know, those things they did for these people for the summit. There's something we leave for the summit. It's still there today. They are still using it. So what's my point? You could see what you've done there. So it motivates you. So two ways. Beyond that, the organization is whether rewarding or not rewarding you, there are other, like they call it nature. God himself has a way of actually rewarding you, and everything you do, ensure that it has meaning, one, and is rewarding and is impactful. I can never join you doing things that are not rewarding and impactful. It's not about money. Please pay attention, because I know the money will come, okay? But it has to be something that in the next 5 years we will remember it. We say, yes, we did it, and people will say, wow, this is great. Thank you.
Much, Mr. Fola Vincent, for always bringing the timely word in. Very quickly, still furthering that conversation. This is to Omoye. Please, ma'am, could you speak to maybe one professional who is sitting here, how he or she could stretch beyond her comfort zone?
Okay, great. So I'm going to, Fola did mention that when we're having this conversation, we should be as authentic as we can be, sharing our personal stories. So I'm going to use my story as a case study to push whatever I'm going to say. My experience is spanning a decade, like 10 years. And Fola mentioned, when my profile was read, I've been awarded quite a lot of HR awards. But me of 2019, me of 2020, I was stuck in a bank behind the cash and tellering desk. I was combining being a cash officer. So for people that understand banking, when you go to a branch, you see the customer service unit, you see the cash and tellering, you see somebody that is approving behind the tellers, you would see a branch operations manager. So me of 2019 to 2020, I was the one you would see behind tellers, approving transactions, giving out cash, running to the ATM. I started my banking experience 2016. I had worked as an HR intern. I was working as executive assistant in 2015 before I moved into banking. And then my first stint was banking operations. So I started off as a customer service, transition to lead customer service, transition into cash officer, transition into head of operations. I did that for about 7 years. It was my comfort zone because it's something I've done over time. You can wake Omoye up and say, Omoye, what's your vote balance? Omoye, how many cards did you issue? It was my comfort zone, but I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't happy because I didn't think I was making impact rather than just satisfying customers, delivering excellent customer service. My branch was winning customer service awards because there's an Omoye. But I didn't think I was touching lives and I was in my comfort zone. So what did I do? I studied economics, came out with good grades. And I knew that when I was in school, labor economics was something that I was passionate about. I liked labor economics and international trade. I said, okay, labor economics, you were taught demand and supply of labor for the economics of the house. I'm like, okay, I think I can do human resources. And before I went for service, I did a short internship with Asoptara as an HR intern. And I loved what I see, but so for this, my story, I'm going to be drawing out some pointers for people, especially if you think that you've not found that passion, you've not found that career for you yet. Even while I was stuck as an operations person, I was doing good work, but I didn't lose sight of what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do human resources as a career, but I didn't even know how to go about it. Trust me, I joined webinars, I look at online training, but I was still feeling lost until I sought out for a coach. Fola mentioned something about coaching and mentoring, and I did not mind making payments for it. So sometimes your comfort zone, there is no growth in your comfort zone. You just be there. It is familiar. It is easy. Yeah. Trust me, I do my work then in banking operations. It was easy peasy for me. There was no challenge anymore. And I felt stuck. And for somebody who is driven like me, somebody who is, they used to tell me busybody then in school, I needed to do something more. And I knew that HR was that career that would give me the opportunity to be impactful. So I reached out to a coach. I signed up for coaching. I was still learning. Whilst I was doing it, what certifications do I need to do at least to launch myself? I registered for CIPM. And in 2019, I was chartered. But mind you, I was chartered still in banking operations. So that was towards the end of 2019. Then 2020, beginning of 2020, I applied to HR in my organization there. I was invited, CIPM. We had a conversation with the head of HR. But there was something missing. My why. Mind you, I have done coaching, I have done certification, and I thought I was ready, but my why wasn't defined. So they told me, said, yes, you've done these things, but you still need to do more things. You need to define your why. And the person was so kind enough to explain to me and all that. Then I went back, still in banking operations, still sorting cash, still ensuring that the vault is balanced, still attending to customers. I was defining my why. When I got out to define my why, do you know that in my branch, they started calling me HRBP? I had not transitioned. My colleagues were calling me HRBP.
Amazing.
Because if there are issues, there are people issues, before it gets to the branch manager, I've stepped in, with what I've learned in CIPM, I'm able to harness what I've learned, manage it, bring out documents. I was developing internal policy for my branch. There was a bank policy there, but while I was doing in operation, I started defining the process. So what can we do better? How can we touch more customers? I was strategic in my job. So they're calling me HRBP. And because I'm vocal about what I want, so you need to also let people in your circle know what you want.
Yeah.
Know the career path. You have to be vocal about it. There is no, Fola is always talking about visibility. You cannot be quiet when you think you are comfortable. Because your comfort zone will just allow you to be there. But if you want to stretch beyond that comfort zone, you have to be vocal. You have to seek for help. Seeking for help is, some people are not so comfortable seeking for help. But as a professional, you should be comfortable with asking for help, especially for people that have gone ahead of you. Okay, have you seen the steps I took to stretch beyond my comfort? It wasn't easy. When I got the no the first time, I started applying, HR. I didn't even mind to getting a pay cut. I was that passionate about transitioning to HR. So I'm going to call my HR journey or HR transition journey a journey of grit, of grace, and growth. Because there was God factor in it. It was putting people in my path, but I needed to do the work. I couldn't have just stayed back and say I want to transition without applying for CIPM and getting chartered, paying for coaching, attending lectures or trainings, and reaching out to people, right? Trust me, the A-list in HR industry today in Nigeria, they have their numbers because I was always disturbing them on LinkedIn, I was always in their faces. So when I discovered my why, I was already practicing HR while in operations. You know what happened? Somebody out of the blues, oh, are you still interested? I said, yes, send your CV to this person. And I did. The same day I was called for a call. We had a conversation. And this person said, I have found my person. I want to work with you. I've never heard of that person before. She was hired strategically as an HR consultant to work with our technology team as at that time, because 2021, I don't know, professionals in 2021, the tech people were the very, the tech talents were very scarce and they were resigning, the attrition in tech. So, but she's experienced in managing tech talent, tech startups. So she was pushed by the bank's management to manage tech teams. And she needed his support. And she said, I know you've never done HR. I'm going to help you, but you are the one I want to work with. I have profiles. I'm not going to talk to them, even though I want to talk to them for, to fulfill all righteousness. I found you. You are my person. My dear brothers and sisters, that is how I got my chance to transition from being that person that was stuck at the tailoring unit, doing cash officer role, treating customers' transaction. I even got to a point where a customer almost, I'm getting emotional right now because it's a story that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, I can see
somebody that became, and again, for people that transition into a career, they will start from officer, they will start from operations role. No, I started as an HRP. It was a big deal, and we did good work at that organization to the extent that till date, the work we did is still template for anybody that's coming into that role. And they keep coming to me to say, we've not actually found that person, but what the work you've done is keeping us going. And then from there, I transitioned into lead talent management here in Overbank. For all the awards I got, I never applied. I got nominated, and I'm just getting mails. You've been nominated for this award.
Oh my!
Because I stretched, I left that my comfort zone. It is very familiar. Trust me, there is no growth in your comfort zone. And I'm not saying people that are doing these jobs are not passionate. Everybody has their why. And my why is that I want to use my career to impact life. I want to be able to I want people to be able to say, because of because Omoye is in this position as an HR person, I am doing this, I'm doing better. And for every panelist on the call, I'm sure they can relate to value. Chinwe, this is to say thank you. I see your work. I see how you've been doing webinars almost every day. You are impacting lives, even though I don't know if you get it all the time. Because when I was transitioning, the likes of Adara, the likes of Shegun Akiode, the likes of Benga Totori, this was what they were doing that I could follow. So thank you very much. For you to leave your comfort zone, there are principles that Fola had mentioned, but it is possible for you to transition from that comfort zone into your good zone. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much. What an insight. Hi, it is time to discover our why and define it clearly. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I picked you to speak to that question that was just there. I am really, really, really glad. So please permit that I just give one more question to Simidele, right? So this is always part of our journey, and it is important that we speak to this. So Mr. Simidele Precious, we would like you to, what's your philosophy on failure as part of exponential growth? Because some of us have been there. We have experienced setbacks. We have experienced failure one way or the other. But we'd like you to speak to this very clearly. I believe this will hit very hard as part of the conversations we would have today. What's your philosophy on failure as part of exponential growth? Thank you, Mr. Simidele.
Thank you so much for that question. To me, I would say anybody who's afraid to fail in life is that person that is not ready to achieve anything significant, really. And failure is it's one of the processes that leads to success in life. That's for me, because I have incubated a lot of ideas. Some failed, and some I was able to nurture them, and today they are bringing in good reward for me. So if anybody's here listening to me now, if you are afraid of failing, then you are not ready to take any new step in life, because true failure, for the fact that you even failed in life, is an achievement, because what resulted to a failure today, you have had that experience. You see that you use the experience for yourself, or you use the experience to guide others. That you have even failed is an experience. You learn how to fail, one. Secondly, you learn what resulted to that failure, which means if you are self-aware, it won't repeat itself again. And third, you know how many ways for you to try that idea, to try that thing you are doing in such a way that you will not fail again. Let me repeat again. You've known different areas, different, how am I going to put it now? Let me use my story as an example for you now. When I first started my business, my first business, then I was in a year 2 on campus. And one way or the other, the business failed. But I sat down, I look at what happened that made this idea to fail. And I realized that the idea failed because I rushed into the launching without dotting my key areas, without putting things in place, without looking at the marketing and the other. I was looking at the reward side of it without figuring the other risk that is attached to the business. And I launched and I failed. I failed woefully. Then I sat back, I looked at the areas I did not look into, the risk aspect of it. And I put that into consideration. Then I attempt the business again. My brother is there, he knows about the business. And at the second attempt, I was able to make a significant amount of money that I use as a seed capital for my next business. And when I started my second business, before I did not factor any risk when planning my business. I only look at the positive side of it. Okay, if I do this, if I put A and B together, I am going to get this. I look at the reward without looking at the risk attached surrounding it. And that was what resulted in my first failure. In my second attempt, I factor in risk and my reward. And that second attempt resulted to a big success. When I launched the business I am doing now, I put in my best, I factor in the risk, my experiences from my failures, I put it into practice, and I was able to grow the business to the level it is today. So, in summary, failure is part of our growth in life. From failure, you learn what you do right. You learn what you did not do right. Repetition of failure, it is what I see as something that is not good. And the only way for you not to repeat failure in your attempts in life is for you to take your time when you fail to learn from the failure, to know what you did right and what you did not do right. When you are able to figure out what worked and what did not work, then you will be able to put together the experiences and you'll be able to forge ahead in your next adventure, in your next attempt in life. Back when I was in Nigeria, I have not worked under anybody. I've been the one championing my I've been the one creating business for myself, creating business for people around me. But when I relocate out of the country, I have to start looking for a job. So I now have an understanding of how it looks like too. Before relocating from Nigeria, I did not even have a CV for myself. So when I got abroad, I have to create a CV. The first time I wanted to write my CV, I have to call my friend. Please, I need to apply for a job. I don't have a CV. How do I go about CV? I've never written any CV in my life before. And it was like, welcome, brother. You have to write CV. You have to do this and do that. So I had to write my CV. And while I was hunting for a job, I was getting a lot of no's. Unfortunately. Then I sat back. I said, okay, why am I getting unfortunately? Then I look at it. Okay, in your CV, this has to be there. This has to be there. You have to match your experiences, your skills with the requirement of the role, the responsibilities. You have to channel. You have to write your CV in such a way that you present yourself to be the best person for the role. And I put it into practice. And when I launched that CV, I put it on different platforms we use around there. And I saw a lot of requests for interview. I was shortlisted for 1 or 2 interviews. I said, so this is how this thing works around here. So just bringing that into what we were saying before. Before, I did not know how to write CV because I've not done it before. But after I wrote the CV I was using before and I failed, I was getting different, unfortunately. I had to sit back, learn from people. I called my brother. Sir, you are HR, you are doing this, please. I sent my CV to him. This is the CV I have. Can you help me go to say you are trying, get it? I sent it back, just adjust this, adjust that. And I learned from it. Today, I was discussing with my wife about 3 days ago, and that little experience I had from my own failure, I've been able to help a lot of people that migrated from Nigeria into this very country, and they were struggling with getting job. I was like, let me see your CV. He said, I've been in this country now for over 5 months. I've not seen anything. Let me see your CV. What is in your CV? And people will be like, when I go through the CV, I say, you can't get a job, my brother. Nothing will happen. And there was a lady, she was at the verge of being deported. And me and my wife, we look at her CV when she was crying in the church that I've not seen any job since I moved into this country. And she's a nurse from Nigeria. But the CV she's using to look for a job, she did not position the CV in such a way that employers will shortlist her for interview.
Present my CV here.
So my wife and I, we had to adjust the CV. You can't believe it. That very week, she got an interview, and just Monday, she went for the interview. And on Tuesday, she called us that she had been given she was successful at the interview. We prepped her for the interview, and now instead of her being deported next month, God has done it. So our failures in life is after we have been able to figure out why we failed. One is going to be to our own blessing. That is, we learn from it and we grow. And this idea of imparting everyone around us is going to be the experience we'll be using to guide people that are finding themselves in that particular shoe, and they will be questioning why me. Some people will be thinking, we come from an area where we say Aisha. Some people is thinking it's maybe there's something wrong with them. They are failing, but it's because they do not have the right experience, the right information, the right knowledge about things that resulted to recurring failure in their adventure or in their life. Let me put it like that. So, in summary, failure is not a bad thing. When we fail, it's a signal that you are not doing something right. Or maybe you did something right, but something is still missing. It's not to that point. Amen. And it is an indication that we need to try harder. Let me put it like that. Try harder. But in attempt to try harder, it's not about just putting efforts and every other thing. You have to seek knowledge. Let me put it like that: seek knowledge, seek information. Just like this meeting, we are this growth exponential. We are all contributing and learning from. One of the speakers that said that discussed this idea of you want to transcend, you felt I should not be in this position. You want to move. In my current role now, I realize me too. I want to move, and I learn from that. Now I get the information. You get it. So a lot of the key is learning, and learning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Simidele. Learning, and learning. You know what I picked out from what he has said so far is that every setback is an opportunity for a comeback. I believe someone got that note very strongly. And failure is an opportunity to increase in knowledge and to increase in information. So it is also part of the growth journey or the growth process. Thank you so much, and every one of you on the panel who has shared your authentic stories and experiences. It has been very, very inspiring. So I'll direct a question that we have on the chat box to Mr. Fola Vincent. The question that is being asked here is saying, I would like to ask, how can I keep the consistency in self-training instead of self-neglect whilst in a very busy activity-based environment?
Okay, thank you so much, Omi.
Thank you, sir.
I think the person that asked the question has already provided answer, but it's more than that. It's more than that. Okay? Consistency basically means daily action. Don't bother about tomorrow. Bother about what you want to do today. Okay? And what it also means is that you need to find a way. There's one area of self-leadership, I don't know what I mentioned it, which is goal, setting self-goals, setting goals for yourself. So once you set a goal, then you must create an actions towards that goal. That's what makes it intentionality. Now, let me say this to everybody here. Has anybody ever reminded you when to eat? Somebody just come and ask you. They can remind you anyway, but the truth of the matter is that you are going to eat. Most times you don't even need people to remind you whether you are hungry or not. That is exactly the way it is. Determination. Don't allow anybody to remind you. That thing should be on your plate. The majority of the people speaking here today, nobody reminded them. Probably went to take a course, went to get certification. Most times they can only seek for accountability partners. These people, they wrote something down and they were so passionate about it and they are determined that they are going to get it done. There's no any other way. Just get it done. If you need to be desperate to do it, please do in a positive manner. Okay, so identify, is this worthwhile? I gave you the 3P filler. I give you that 3P filler. So is it purposeful? Is it worthwhile? Is it something you need to do? It can contribute to future impact. If it is something you know that it has to be done, then go and get it done. You know, I watched a movie, though I've forgotten the title. And there's one word I learned from that movie. What you need to do, go and get it done. I also read a book called The 3D of Execution. And, I read it from there. What if you know you need to do that thing, go and do it. Or this what they call eat that frog. That one really helped me a lot. Eat that frog. Go and eat that frog. Go and get it done. That is the only way. Anything you need to do, go and do it. That are in line with your purpose. Thank you so much, Yemini.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fola Vincent. So we're bringing this to a wrap already, but something striking I would like us to do very quickly. I would like our panelists to do, citing from what Mr. Simidele rightly pointed out. Likewise, every other panelist, he did say that challenges. He did rightly say. He rightly pointed out that there will be challenges along our growth journeys, right? And in the face of these realities, please, what's that one word or thought you would like to leave with us? Something that would keep us grounded and inspired as we continue our own growth journey. Everyone in the panelists or of the panelists are going to be speaking to this. Please, what's that one word or thought you would like to leave with us? Something that will keep us grounded and inspired as we continue our own growth journey. So we will begin from the last to the top, but I'd like to begin with Mr. Simidele, and then we'll build on from there. Mr. Fola Vincent may be the last that will speak to this. Thank you so much. Mr. Simidele would like to begin with you. What's that one word or thought you would like to leave with us? Something that will keep us grounded and inspired as we continue our own growth journey. Thank you.
I'm not sure. It seems Simidele is not there. Probably should go
Anybody on the call?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we'll move on. NK, we'll begin with you, please. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
What's that one word or thought you would like to leave with us as we begin our own growth journey? Thank you, ma'am.
It will be learn something new every day. Growth is really about increasing knowledge, improving our skills and showing up every day, which is making effort and putting in the work. Learning increases our knowledge, so we must commit to learning something new every day. Learning is to the mind what exercise is to the body. In fact, last week I was at an L&D Africa conference. Amongst all the things I learned from that conference, guess one thing that stood out for me, and I'm sure when I say it, you may all laugh here. Do you know, I never knew we had 54 countries in Africa, because I've never taken our time to make a list of African countries, but that stood out for me because it was an African L&D. So we had representatives from different, countries in Africa. It was from that conference that I learned that we have 54 countries in Africa. It may sound very but honestly, me, I have an open mind to learn and read every opportunity I want to learn something. So for me, it was a key takeaway for me. Do you understand? Because I never knew, I've never made Southern to make a list of the countries we have in Africa. We have 54 countries in Africa. So we must embrace learning ubiquity, which is that learning can happen anywhere. And if you are learning and applying what you have learned every day, then growth is inevitable. But let me sound this last word to us. I must also remind us that real growth happens outside of one's comfort zone most times. Thank you so much, everyone.
That's a word.
Thank you so much. What a strong word you have left us with. Thank you so much. Please, we would like Omoye to come in now. Yes. Omoye, please, we would like for you to come in now. What's that word or thought you would like to leave with us? Something that will keep us continually inspired and grounded as we continue on our own growth journeys. Thank you.
Great. I would say that in line with our theme for today, exponential growth, I would say that growth becomes exponential when it is fueled by purpose. So I think I'm all about purpose because that is the essence of my why. And that is why I could transition from a banking operations specialist into human resources. And it's been a rewarding, though challenging, it can come with its own ups and downs. But what keeps me going is my purpose, is my why. Yes, you would rise, but what fuels that rising and that momentum, irrespective of what comes, it's your purpose. Because when you know why you are growing, you never stop. Okay, so let's keep earning our why, keep doing what we need to do to establish and articulate our why. And I'm sure that we would always have it purposeful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Keep learning our why, right? And keep living with purpose. Thank you so much, ma'am. So we would like Chinwe to come in now. What's that one word or thought you would like to leave with us? Something that keeps us being inspired and grounded as we continue our own growth journey. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. For me also, it is about learning. Learning doesn't stop, right? You just have to keep learning, like Kichi said. And I so much love the words of Alvin Toffler a lot. I use it a lot. That the literates of the 21st century, they are not those that cannot read and write, but those that have refused to unlearn, relearn, and learn. Meaning that we will keep learning, right? So don't get comfortable wherever you are and think that you've known it all. I remember when I was much younger, my mom was a teacher. She used to say that there is no zenith to learning, like you can never know it all. If you think you've gotten a PhD in this course, if you've not gotten it in another one, you've not gotten it in the next one, right? So there is always something new to learn. When you have that, and going from our topic that says growth exponential, if you box yourself in a place that, and feel that you've known it all, or you've gotten to that place that, you're the one just impacting on others and you're not learning, right? You see yourself that it's like as if cobweb is growing in your head, or is going, like your brain is going dormant. You don't even know what is happening in your space anymore, because every day something new comes out. So when we, feed our mind with knowledge, and not just knowledge, because we say that knowledge is power, but it's not just power now. It is the application of knowledge that is power. So when you keep acquiring that knowledge and you're not applying it, there is also deficiency of you, learning and not applying. So it's even in the application of what you've learned that growth happens. So I'll leave us with that word to keep learning, because learning doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chinwe. We'll go to Mr. Charles Adekunle. What's that one word you would like to leave with your audience? One thought, one word, something that keeps us inspired and grounded as we continue on our own growth journeys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Onini, and everyone on this call today. I believe that you've learned one or two things, and you will go away applying those things in your professions and in your life. I want us to understand that growth is a journey, not a destination. Every experience, every success, or every setback is an opportunity to learn, like everyone have also said, and evolve. Because what learning does is that it transforms you, it makes you better, it changes your position, so it gives you growth and it gives you wing. If I can't say that, right? Embracing growth means that embrace growth, right? Stay curious, stay open-minded, and stay committed to your goals, right? Quick wins might be tempting, really. Quick win is tempting, but lasting values comes from deliberate, intentional, and well-timed move, right? What does that mean? It means pursue your goal at all costs, because if you do not pursue your goals, you can't grow from it, right? If you pursue the goals that you have written down, then you will experience exponential growth, okay? And let me leave you with this word today. I think it was Tom Peters that said it. He said, Jack Welch, that said it. He said, if the rate of growth outside your organization and outside of you is faster than the rate of growth inside you, the end is near. All right? It says, let me repeat it. It says, if the rate of growth inside you and inside your organization is faster than the rate of growth within you and outside, right, of you, then the end is near. What it means is that you have to keep abreast of everything that is happening within your space. Like Chinwe said, if you do not keep abreast of everything happening within you, if you don't keep learning, if you stop learning new things, then your brains begins to go dormant. It begins to go you just feel somewhere. For you to comprehend things becomes a bit difficult. For you to hold things and do things becomes really, really difficult, because you have not been practicing. You've not been using your brain. It's just like you going for a gym. You're someone that goes to a gym often, and suddenly you stopped. The next time you're going back there, it will feel as if you've never visited a gym before. I believe that if you put in practice every principles of growth exponentials that we have discussed here today, you will definitely experience growth exponential. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adekunle Kai. Stay committed to your goals. A journey, not a destination. Thank you so much for that strong word. Mr. Daniel Falomo, what's that one word or thought you would like to leave with your audience that will keep us grounded and continually inspired as we begin or continue our own growth journey? Thank you.
Thank you. It is commonly said that a weed is an unwanted plant, or a plant that grows out of place. So I want to leave us with that word, because we need to begin to treat distractions, undesirable circumstance as weeds, right? And to contribute to that, never follow the crowd, right? Never follow the crowd. Know your worth, then continue to build capacity, irrespective of whatever kind of reward, whatever kind of recognition you get at where you work, even if you're not working. Continue to build capacity. I've said it before and I'm saying it again. The only thing that can delay you is time. That you won't be rewarded. Nature will ultimately reward you. Thank you.
Mr. Daniel, take up the weeds, the distractions, undesirable circumstance, and never follow the crowd. Time will reward your consistency and your commitment. Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Thank you. What a time. So we will bring on Mr. Fola Vincent. Yes, he will speak to the question we have on the chat box. Please, sir, there's a question on the chat box, and then you will bring in your own thoughts that you are going to be leaving with you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mrs. Onini. That was it has been an amazing time together. So let me quickly speak to Gina's questions. For one, who has just transitioned into L&D, how do you experience its exponential growth, especially when you have made several attempts to work in that space as an intern, volunteer, or as an assistant, or even get a mentor proof about it? You want to transition into L&D. I will just follow what Omoye told us, okay? I don't know the current role you are doing greatly. Just ensure you are producing quality work, because the L&D you want to transition to is a do we say it's a destination, and it's a process towards it. So what you should focus on is the process itself, not the destination right now. So number one process you can follow right now is, what are the skills you need to acquire for that role? Start acquiring it, okay? Now you say you have made several attempts to work in that space as an intern, which is proven abortive, right? Don't give up, okay? Keep doing it. Okay, look at Omoye. Omoye, most times, even that was the organization she was working in, yet she was getting no. Okay, don't worry. Each no will bring you closer to yes. Okay, keep applying. Keep showing interest in the internship. Keep showing interest in the as a volunteer. Keep showing that interest. Now, let's move to what Simidele said. Are you doing it right? Okay, and I think that some of us here, or probably myself, we can help you look at that. Probably you are not doing it right. So we look at it so that we probably after now, I've sent a link. Just join the group. We look at it so that we ensure that you are doing it right, because that is where the issue is. If you are not doing something right, you don't have the right information around how to go about it, we can give you 1 or 2 days so that we ensure that you are actually doing it right. Please, Tayo, I post something in the group. Let me reshare it around the group so people can see that, okay, you're actually doing it right. And the final one, please, because it could be so frustrating that you stop believing in yourself that this is possible. So I don't want you to get to that way too, okay? And that is the reason for Growth Exponential. Do not get to that area that you just tell yourself, no, I will stop doing it again. So this is the best time for you to start doing it. Anytime you face that frustration, that is the reason why you need to keep doing it, okay? Anytime you have that rejection, that is where you need to start doing it, because it shows that it's possible. So have that belief in yourself and keep doing it. And don't forget, focus on the process. This program, after now, we can talk about it. It may not be today, okay? But don't worry. Just reach out. We look at whether you are doing it well or you are not doing it well. So that is the only thing I will say about that. Then on my final thought, which is most important, after all said and done, and you refuse to take action, then this program is going to be a waste. Okay, it's going to be a waste. So the question now is, what are the actions you are going to take after this program? And I learned something from Amazing NK, which I'm also going to put to you. Number one is, what are you going to stop? What are the habits you need to stop after now? I call it impact roadmap. That is the name I give to it. I said impact roadmap. So the first thing is, what am I going to stop? Okay? So you need to write it down. What am I going to stop? Then, as a result of this program, what am I going to start? I don't know what you need to start, but I know that we have supplied so much information to you in this program, and we have also created a group in such a way that probably after now, in the next 1 week, or it depends, we can still work with you in one area or the other. What are you going to stop? What are you going to start? Then number 3 is, what are you going to improve? What do you want to improve? Improvement means that there are some capability you have, talent you have, that you need to improve. Okay. I'm coming back to you, NK. Yes. Okay. Okay, please, everyone, I need you to say thank you to all our panelists. I could say that they are currently going, and Omoyed is going, Simi Dele has gone. I don't know how you want to do it. Should we use our reaction button? And let's just say a big thumbs up to all of them. We are still going to send a letter to them and say thank them for joining us. And we want to say thank you to you, Omoye. Thank you so much. Shinwe, I got your message. Thank you so much. Simidele, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, my Amazing NK is still around. So, she still want to talk to you to answer the last question I was about to answer. So, what am I going to stop? What am I going to start? What am I going to improve? Or what should I improve? What should I improve? Then the next thing you need to tell yourself is, who should I partner with? So in this case, you can decide to say, okay, I want to get a mentor, I want to get a coach. Do I want to pay for it? Or do I look for one that I don't have to pay? It depends on what you want to do, okay? It depends on how serious you are with the process. Who should I partner with? So we're talking about coach, We're also talking about a mentor. There could be sponsor, anything can happen. And trusted friend, okay, trusted friend or significant person in your life. So, and the last one is, what is the most important goal? What is the most important goal you need to achieve in the next 6 months? What is the most important goal you need to achieve in the next 6 months? Now, I just mentioned a goal. It could be two or more goals. Depends on what you really want to do. And I need you to take it seriously, because this is the impact level. I've dropped it in the comment section. That is the impact level. You need to take it seriously. And I will be ready for you. Some of you have my emails. I'm going to drop my email right now. Please, no spamming. I block you immediately. Okay. So I'm going to drop my email and also my contact. At least I can give you a 1-week session on how to modify all of this. Okay, so that 5 questions, I need you to answer them. I'm going to be your accountability partner for some time before I have a lot in my heart, but we are going to try our best and keep this conversation open until we can provide answers to that impact roadmap. And as many of you that want to do it, we'll be ready to work with you for some time. Thank God I still have some of the mentors in this place. I can assign you to some of them and they will be ready to work with you. Is that okay? So I'm going to hand over to Amazing NK, my own Amazing NK. Please, over to you. You wanted to answer that question. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I just wanted to respond to Modupe's question. She asked if, when I went back to school, if it was direct entry or part-time, because I had mentioned that I was working and schooling and all that. Oh, yes, Modupe. So I went back, it was direct entry with my HND upper credits. I started from 300 level and I did 300, 400, and 500 level. So if you're looking at doing that also, it's possible. You can look at other schools and all that, but I went to Unilag. So I did it at Unilag. It was direct entry. All right. Thank you. I just wanted to respond to that question because I saw
Okay. Then would you want to respond to the person that is a young L&D that is looking for transition into L&D?
Oh, okay. So just like every other person has said, Omoye's story is very inspiring. Yes. Never give up. The whole essence of this growth exponential is that you should never give up.
Yes.
Once you know your why, you know where you want to get to, you know why you want that thing, then you will never give up. Because if that is what will make you live a purposeful life, then you cannot give up. You will get a lot of no's, and we've gotten a lot of no's. I told you about my interview experience and how I was told to my face that I can never be a leader, I can never be a manager and all that. Do you understand? But did that make me, go back and remain on the floor and say, they have said it's not possible? No. Instead, he spurred me and challenged me, and I made up my mind that I will be the best leader or any manager anybody will ever work with. So the no's you're getting now, or you'll be making efforts, you want to get internship opportunities, you want to get mentors, you want to get coaches, is looking like it's vague. Do not give up. That's what I want to say to you. Don't give up. The good thing is that there are platforms that you can keep learning and growing. So what you can do in the interim is keep improving yourself. Keep improving yourself. Join L&D groups. There are a lot of groups on LinkedIn. Join different L&D groups, HR groups and all that. Keep learning and keep showing up. There will be volunteer opportunities. You can volunteer. You can start from there. Maybe on one of the groups you join, they are saying that, they are planning a conference or something. You can reach out to them behind the scenes to say, if there are volunteer opportunities, I would like to volunteer, because these things add up. Because while you're volunteering, you are learning skills, you're learning something, and you never can tell where that opportunity where you finally meet that opportunity. You know how they say, preparation with opportunity will give you. So don't be caught napping. Do you understand? So even if they say no to you, don't say no to yourself. You know why you want to get to L&D. You know where you want to, the echelon you want to get to in the L&D space. Stay focused, put your gaze on that place and keep going. make efforts, interact, join groups, network with people. Like this platform you've attended, now this is part of what we're talking about. You said it here now. We have a lot of L&D. Fola is an L&D person. I am an L&D person. Now that you have signified your interest, do you think if there's an opportunity, Fola will not call on you? So that's the beauty about sessions like this and networking. When you come for sessions like this, you don't know who's good there, and you drop it there. Oh, I want to volunteer. I want to. Anybody can pick it up from there. So my chat to you is do not give up. Keep pushing, keep making effort, keep reaching out to people, keep trying, and keep improving yourself. And I can tell you for free that the light will shine, the light will beam on you, because there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, amazing and say NK. Thank you so much. Over to you, Onini.
Oh, sorry, my light just went out. It will come back shortly.
No
so
problem.
just in case you are seeing the dark,
No problem.
I'm going to go on. Good, the light is back. It's been restored back.
No problem.
Wow, what a session today. I'm so excited. Growth Exponential 2025. This is quite, I would say, because I was part of last year's edition. And I want to say that this year's was bigger, was better, and was stronger. I want to say a big thank you to the convener, Mr. Fola Vincent, my very coach. You know, many have met him through me. They saw how my journey began, how I began to grow exponentially, and where I am today. And everyone is wanting to meet in him. This time, they're not looking to me on the scene anymore. They are looking for the person who has made this person. And I'm very, very glad and thankful and grateful to God. Many of us who are on this call today are privileged. If I tell you how I got to connect with him, you would laugh. But I can tell you that as soon as I met him, my own growth journey began. And it is never ending. Every time I'm privileged to speaking with him or talking with him, I'm continually inspired. And for what the assignment he has given me to doing today, it is an opportunity. I'm super grateful, sir. I want to thank everyone on the panel. What an inspiration. What a gift you were to us today. I want to say a big thank you on behalf of everyone, on behalf of the convener, on behalf of the participants. Not to leave out the participants, thank you for joining. We trust that you have been greatly inspired by this insightful session. The conversation goes on. It has not come to an end. We have been reminded that growth is not accidental. It is built through intentional actions, daily disciplines, and a resilient mindset. As we go today, we continue to apply all that we have learned. I want to urge us to stay consistent. Keep stretching beyond your comfort zone. That was very strong for me. Understanding that true growth is exponential. And when we take responsibility and act with purpose, we are certain of the destination. We want to thank everyone, the panelists, once again, the participants, the energy, the time, the authentic experiences we shared, the openness. Oh my God, we are most grateful. We would keep growing intentionally and exponentially. Once again, to my coach, Mr. Fola Vincent, you are going to bring a word to us all. I want to say thank you again. We're grateful for your growth journey and how you are greatly inspiring many others in the process. God bless you. Please, you can come on now. We look forward to Exponential 2026 and it's going to be bigger and stronger. Thank you, sir.
So I want to say thank you once again to everyone that joined this session. That's been an amazing time. Keeping you from 10 a.m. to almost 2 p.m. It's not an easy one. We know that you have sacrificed your weekend, despite the fact that you go to work on Monday to Friday. That's not an easy thing. A special thank you to you. And we say God bless you. And to our panelists, oh my God, these people are amazing people. I can't do but I'm so amazed. And look at what they have done for us today. Some of us, we might not be able to recover easily from what they have done today. For all of us, I want to say a big thank you to them, and to you, we say thank you. And please don't forget, I've sent to you what you need to do. And if you will love to share your testimony with us, like a testimonial to us, use the same email and send it to me. The phone contact I provided is also the WhatsApp. Send it to us. What were your key takeaways from this program? How has this program impacted you? What will you be doing going forward? And you could also go to the internet and let people know what you have gotten from this program today. I love that, Gina. And some of you have been reaching out to me already, telling me how impactful this program was to you. Gina is saying, I'm glad I was part of this webinar. It's like a prayer answered. That is the reason for Growth Exponential. We can't wait to see you next year. We say God bless you. Thank you so much. Olini, thank you. Hey, hello, Tayo. I want to say thank you for joining us. Tayo is the person at the background working at, some people, they are working, you don't really see them. They are not on the spotlight. Tayo, thank you so much for being part of the success of this program. We really appreciate you. God bless you. So everyone, thank you. See you very soon, shortly, because we know that there are other programs we do. So we'll be inviting you again. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And to all those who joined us on our streaming platform, we actually do a streaming, and people are watching. Apart from people that are here, we stream this. I want to say thank you for joining us.